Falmouth Commodores baseball.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3 call. It's a fair ball down the line. Here come the Doors. That one is way gone. Hello everyone and welcome to Gov Fuller Field for another matchup with the Falmouth Commodores and the Harwich Mariners, a West and East Division matchup right here in Falmouth. Matt Venezia, Zach Serdenik here in the broadcast booth with you. We'll hear from Destiny Sanchez in just a little bit. The Doors, pretty good effort yesterday to come from behind, get the win. Now you got another matchup in the East Division with the Mariners.
Yeah, it was massive to pick up that win against Chatham, get themselves back on the right side of things. Now you're moving into another game against the East and trying to continue that momentum.
That guy right there had the big swing. 6th inning, bases clearing single. All the runs Falmouth needed. Cade Snell is going to be a big part of this one.
He is, and he finds his way on base. Every single game of the summer, he's found his way to first base at least once. You got to think that's going to continue tonight.
On the other side, you're looking at a Wildcat from Kansas State. Kalen Culpepper has had a phenomenal summer. There are his numbers, but he's going to be a contestable asset every single time you see this Mariners
And
group.
those numbers, not a ton of games for him because he left for a while to go play with Team USA. A couple of Team USA members on this Harwich team that left for a little bit and now are back and making an impact again for Harwich.
Has played 4 games since coming back from the Team USA festivities. And with all that said, some players to look out for. We send it to Destiny Sanchez.
Thanks, guys. The Cape League All-Star roster has been announced, and 5 Commodores have made the list. Travis Bazzana, Gavin Keelan, Cade Snell, Joey Ryan, and Garrett Coe will all join the West Division All-Stars on Saturday in Harwich. It will be great to see all the top players in the Cape League all in the same field on Saturday. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Destiny. We'll have a little bit more on some of those guys throughout this broadcast. Travis Bazzana will be starting out in left field for the West Division and all those festivities. The home run contest will begin at 4 o'clock, the game to follow after. It's going to be fun at White House Field. Zach, I know you and I are anticipating getting out there.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I'm excited to see what these guys can do and the performance they can put up. It's just going to be really nice to see all the best players who have had the best summers out here on the Cape in the best summer league in the country come out and have some fun.
All in the centennial year as well. The Commodores will get to have the All-Star festivities here in Falmouth next year in the 101st season of the Cape League. All of that will take place next year. You and I obviously won't be here for it, and some of these players who may be coming back could certainly be a part of it.
Well, Joey Ryan's a 2-time Cape League All-Star. You never know what could happen, especially with some of these younger guys. Gavin Keelan, for example, is a freshman. He's not draft eligible next year, so he could come back and you could see him potentially making a second All-Star appearance if he's back here in Falmouth.
Good look at the newest Commodore right there, Kevin Brady. We'll see him and meet everyone else later in this starting lineup for Jeff Trundy and the Falmouth Commodores today. Before we send it down for on-field activities involving the anthem and all that, this is just a spot for the Doors to kind of see if they can get themselves back in the right place. 2 wins in the last 7. Right now, you've got a nice, good, sizable lead in that 4 spot compared to Wareham below you by 8 points, Zach. But you can't be thinking, right, how much we're safe by. It's more so we got to keep surging towards maybe getting into Bourne in that 3rd spot.
Well, exactly. Only 1 point back of the Braves entering tonight. A win and a Bourne loss, and all of a sudden, Falmouth is finding itself in its highest position since very early in the season. Would be holding on to that 3 spot and try and avoid a Kitsua team that has been outstanding all summer long.
Travis Bazzana right there getting ready to go for the game. He will certainly want to help get this team deeper in the playoff picture as we continue to work our way through the latter half of this season. You can see there the guys getting ready for the national anthem. With all of that said, we send it down to the field for the festivities.
Logan has been a military brat all of his life and is grateful to call Cape Cod home for the past 13 years, while his dad is stationed here in the United States Coast Guard.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Throwing out tonight's ceremonial first pitch is Stuart Hirschman. Stuart is a native of Howell, Michigan, pitched for the Commodores in the summer of 1993, along with his twin brother Steve Hirschman. When the Hirschman brothers weren't striking out their Cape Cod League opponents, they worked at Bradley's department store and enjoyed the hospitality of longtime Falmouth host Carol Costa. Stewart and Steve played college ball at Michigan State University, where Stewart remains the winningest pitcher in Spartan history with a career of 28 victories and was a two-time academic All-American, while Steve wishes everyone to know he retains the title of the better-looking twin. Stewart currently lives in Austin, Texas, and is here tonight with his wife Mindy and their three daughters Julia, Mallory, and Bryn. Get ready for some action-packed fun game as we are ready to hear the words we love to hear. Take it away, Stuart.
Play ball!
Nice festivities and introductions to get us ready for baseball here at the Gov. The starting nine for the Harwich Mariners. Zach, a lot of righties up against the left-hander in Jacob Smith.
That's one way to put it. 9 of them against the lefty. 1 through 9 in the order, all hitting from that right side. Going to make it easier if you're trying to see somebody's face, but tougher if you're talking about the advantage from the left-handed pitcher in Jacob Smith. But he's going to have to work through it. They've got some good guys up and down this order. It's going to start at the top with Seaver King.
We haven't seen him in a while. To be specific, June 26th, and now it sees the Harwich Mariners in third place in that East Division. Big contest with all those bats going up against this guy who's coming off a season high in strikeouts at Doran Park in his last outing, a very good one against the Bourne Braves.
Yeah, 6 punch-outs in his first outing, 7 strikeouts in his second. See if he can one-up himself again today. That'd definitely be an impressive outing if he's able to do so. Impressive ERA, impressive record, and overall he's just been really solid. A lot of different pitches that he can throw. Keep an eye out for that really slow, big breaking curveball that he'll go to quite a bit in pretty much any count.
And he was telling us in the broadcast after his start when we had him up here in the booth, just saying, hey, I got all these pitches. We'll pick 4 or 5 to really go to in a given game, just kind of what he's feeling. We'll see which 5 he'll want to elect against all these right-handers. We'll certainly have to keep him off balance, though.
And this is a tough lineup for Harwich that has struggled as of late, and we'll see what they can do.
Around the horn, you see the defense of the Falmouth Commodores. The new guy at the hot corner, Gavin Brady. We will see him there at third. Kyle DeBar slides over to short, giving Gavin Keelan a much-deserved off day today. Bazana McGregor, pretty unique, and same stuff there on the right side of the infield. Walker Yannick catching the balls and strikes in the outfield. Looks like that. Nate Humphreys, back-to-back appearances in the lineup after the home run yesterday at Veterans Field. Very deserving of getting back in there out and right.
He swung it well. Hit that ball a very long way off of Xavier Casarilla in the 9th.
Made it 5-2 for Falmouth, as we mentioned. The 3-run single in the 6th inning with 2 away was certainly the big hit in that ball game. Kevin Brady there, though. Good to see him here making his way here out of Wheaton College. We'll have all of his numbers later. He's played middle infield, but now over to third base today. Kyle DeBarge is normally there, but normally plays shortstop at Louisiana. This is not a very different change for him.
I talked to Kevin Brady about getting used to this infield here in this field. He was out here at 2 o'clock today taking ground balls, getting ready for this one, and I asked him about the field. He said it plays really similar to the surface that he plays at Wheaton College, and so that was a good thing for him. Comfortability can definitely help out in a situation like that.
Throwdown complete. A talk with Jacob Smith and Walker Yannick. The battery getting on the same page here before seeing the Harwich Mariners leader in hits to this point in the summer. Seaver King from the right side will be designated hitting today. Likes to bowl the baseball. Might be coming to Kevin Brady right away. Again, we've talked about it, Zach. The baseball will find you when you're into the ball game for the first time. And Brady, in this instance, making his summer debut for the Falmouth Commodores.
And the impressive thing about Seaver King leading this team in hits is that he's only played 13 games.
That's true. Yes, he has. But King in there now. Smith working out of the stretch. And on the first delivery, it's upstairs and away at 6:02 here on this beautiful evening for baseball on this Wednesday, July the 19th. We're happy you're with us here for the Falmouth Commodores and the Harwich Mariners. The Doors win yesterday, trying to get over 500 here at 15 wins, 15 losses, and 2 draws. Big wave and a miss by King here. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Falmouth only 1 game this year where they've been above 500. That was the game at YT when they were sitting at 14, 13, and 2.
Seaver King out of Wake Forest there. Gets another fastball. Stays away. Getting ready to go to Wake Forest, rather. Really good year at Southern New Hampshire for King this season. Drove in 53 runs, better than a 400 average.
He was outstanding.
Makes sense why he's at the top of the order for a Mariners team that's come back to earth a little bit. Had a really good start to this summer. Smith, a little bit high and tight there. Falling behind now. But again, his stuff looked really, really good last time. He's just had really, really good starts so far, Zach. Utilizing all those different pitches to keep these guys off balanced. Trying to not lose King here, though. Gets back in the zone.
The thing with a pitcher like Smith is he's got so many pitches, he can use almost all of them as a put-away pitch. We'll see what he goes to on 3-2. A lot of times you'll think 3-2 fastball, but you also may see the big hook.
Got a full count spot now against Seaver King. Sends it straight back to us. Got one of those breaking pitches there. Whether that be the slurve, the curveball, the slider, I couldn't tell you. Where he just throws so many. We'll have our TrackMan stuff up here in just a second as well to really be able to give you the metrics, we hope. But once again, a good battle here right away for Jacob Smith against the best hitter in this lineup, Seaver King. This one off the glove of Yannick. It was inside anyways, ball 4. It's a leadoff base runner for the Mariners.
And that's trouble. That's similar to the way that the last time these two teams played all the way back on June 25th that the game went. It was 4 runs in that first inning from Harwich, in large part thanks to early some walks issued by Isaac Tiger.
That was the first of 2 consecutive on the Nesson broadcasts. Zach and I did not have that one for you, so this is our first time broadcasting against Harwich for the first time since June 12th, all the way back at White House Field. It's been a while. You and I were joking about it when we were doing our lineups this morning and getting accustomed and learning about these Harwich Mariners. I'd say 75% of the guys on those roster cards we had are no longer on the team. It took me a very long time to learn about this group. It's a fastball off the plate.
It's also been an interesting group, too, because there's been the ups and downs of this Cape League season, but they started really, really well and have kind of fallen off, even though the roster hasn't been too different. It's been up and down a little bit, but a lot of the guys have just cooled off a little bit.
Seaver King being tabbed on by Jacob Smith, just keeping him close there. King, 4 stolen bags this summer, 4 for 5 overall in terms of running down to second. Big breaking ball there, stays a little bit inside to the State College of Florida prospect here, and Kevin Karstetter will be joining me in Tempe very, very soon. Got to talk to him about that before the game. He said he's really excited to join Willie Bloomquist and the Devils out there. He jumps on one here, though, out to deep right center. John Spikerman basically runs the entire way and still makes the catch on the run. That was a good barrel for the first out of this inning.
It was, and there aren't many center fielders in this league that are making that play. Spikerman so quick out there, got a really good jump and able to run that one down in the gap.
Doesn't matter how you get them, you just got to find those outs. And that is the first one picked up, and now Kalen Culpepper digs in from the right side. We highlighted Culpepper at the beginning of the broadcast as he takes this one inside. Again, had a stint with Team USA, so getting back into the groove of things now. Just game number 5 for Culpepper since returning.
Something early to keep an eye on, the breaking stuff from Smith. He was able to throw it for a strike so well in his first 2 outings, and that's what really propelled him. He hasn't been able to find it yet.
Seaver King going. It was a hit-and-run situation. Can McGregor make the play? No, he cannot. The dugout was yelling at Seaver King to get back, because if that play is made by McGregor, you might have him doubled off at first base.
The only thing that you didn't have there, though, was anybody covering first base. Jacob Smith kind of realized it late, and he sprinted over there, but it wasn't going to be run down either way.
That ball towards the bullpen area of Falmouth. But nonetheless, Kalen Culpepper here digs in for a chance. He's driven in 3 runs so far on the summer. 12 hits for him this summer. But as you mentioned, Zach, just trying to find a feel for those breaking pitches early in this ball game. Usually his bread and butter up there. This one worked, though. Got him to pop it up. Travis Pizzana takes charge of the infield for the second out.
It's a good pitch. Culpepper just got it off the end of the bat and sent it straight up into the air. When you can retire a hitter like that on a swing like that, you'll take it every time.
Mason Guerra now gets an opportunity because of the leadoff walk. He bats in there in the cleanup spot tonight. An all Pac-12 honorable mention this year at Oregon State. Teammates with Gavin Turley and Travis Pizzana. Seaver King first pitch going. Not a very good throw down, though, by Yannick. Very atypical of him there on that throw. He's normally used to some closer contested throwdowns. That one nearly took Pizzana with it. And now you've got a runner in scoring position.
He came up quickly, just kind of yanked the throw. But nothing hurt with 2 outs. Just have to get the batter.
Another spot where Jacob Smith fallen behind early in a count. Has not started 0-1 on any of these hitters yet through 4. And a fly ball out to pretty deep center field. John Spikerman in cruise control out there. He does it twice to help out Jacob Smith. And the Doors strand Seaver King standing at second. The side retired after a leadoff walk. Falmouth Bats coming up here on the Commodores Baseball Network. Falmouth Commodores will get their first digs in the batter's box here today, a lineup that yesterday provided on a lot of the offense from the cleanup hitter in Cade Snell, but pretty routine except for the guy in the 9th spot in Kevin Brady.
Yeah, you've got a lot of guys that are starting to swing it well and a lot of guys that have been up and down. Top of the order, Spikerman, Bazana, DeBarge. Those guys are going to produce for you. Cade Snell, we know what he's got. Bottom of the order, Humphrey starting to heat up. Pair of hits yesterday and a home run. Gavin Turley's getting going. And then Kevin Brady, the guy just hits. And I think we're going to see that tonight as well.
They will take on a rising senior right-hander out of St. Joseph's. It's going to be Dominic Picone out there for his second start on the summer, 3rd appearance overall.
And Picone, second team All-Atlantic 10 this season at St. Joseph's. He's got himself a pretty good mix. Fastball, slider, curveball change, and going to continue to make that work, trying to get this Doors offense on its heels, which is something that Carson Pierce did a really good job yesterday from Chatham of doing, and yet at the end of the day, Falmouth still found a way to win that game.
Ran into a spot with those 2 out consecutive walks. The defense helping out Picone. You got the big arm in Kennedy Jones getting ready to head on to USC. That's South Carolina out there and left. Then the rest of the field out there. Kalen Culpepper, the stout shortstop, doing duties there as well.
I know you're from the East Coast, man, but South Carolina's not USC.
That's right. It's not USC.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the Pac-12 in you, too, so I guess you've got both sides of it.
Yeah, it's funny.
They'll try to tell you they're USC.
First pitch swinging after the 1-0, and Spikerman is retired by his opposite center fielder, Obi, losing his cap there in the process for the first out.
It's a good swing. Just finds a glove.
Now Travis Bazana will step in. Bazana yesterday, a pair of walks in that 5-2 win for the Doors. Came around to score on both of them. The most significant, though, again, keep harping on it, but the 3-run single in the 6th inning. Gets his first chance, lines one right back up on the first pitch. Center fielders, if you had on your bingo card 4 putouts in the first inning, still with 1 more out to spare, you'd be looking pretty good. 2 gone.
But those swings are both really good swings from Spikerman and Bazana. You're getting good contact, good line drive swings. That's encouraging if you're Falmouth.
This is the shortstop, Kyle DeBarge, not the third baseman tonight. DeBarge has been an icon in that 3-hole spot for Falmouth and Jeff Trundy. He's still there, but just playing over to the right side of the infield just a tad. But Kyle DeBarge for Falmouth up there at the top of the team in terms of runs driven in.
If he gets 3 ABs tonight, he's going to be the first guy on the Commodores team to have 100 at-bats this summer.
Would like to think that that will happen. Check down. Anthony Brunetti says he did not go. Chris Kane's behind the plate calling the balls and strikes. You see a good look there at Anthony Brunetti down the first base line. DeBarge sends one foul. Then you might see there in the corner of your screen on the left, down the third baseline, Mike Hinojosa. Those are our umpires today here at Gov Fuller Field. Glad to be back home. Nice little stretch of 3 games on the road on the radio here. Picone goes up the ladder for a wave and a miss. Both teams relatively quickly working through their own respective parts of the first inning. The Doors go down in order. Scoreless through 1 from the Gov.
The Falmouth Commodores merch shop is the one place to go for all your Commodores merchandise. Check out our full collection of hats, including the official game hats of the Commodores, along with shirts of all kinds. And for those colder nights, don't worry, we've got you covered with hoodies and jackets. We've even got bats, balls, pins, and more for all your collecting needs. Speaking of collecting, this year the Commodores are celebrating their 100th year with plenty of Centennial merchandise. The Commodores merch shop is the one place to get your 100th year gear. All the Centennial merchandise is while supplies last, so make sure to get it before it's gone. And hey, you never know who you'll find when you stop in, and there's always something to tip your hat to. Come say hi to us under the press box behind home plate before we close up shop in the 9th. And as always, roll Doors.
Indeed, Zach, and these guys coming up have been rolling all summer long.
5 All-Stars. Destiny mentioned them earlier, but you get to see them there. Get a little cool graphic going with them. Got to check all of those out on our social media pages. They've been knocking them out all week long since the announcement, and all those guys have been cruising.
I think it was a Wallpaper Wednesday post
today
from our social folks handling the Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that fun stuff there. But yes, 5 Commodores will be at White House Field on Saturday. We will be with them as well, so look out for some fun content on the social handles between Zach and myself and the 5 Commodore All-Stars. A guy who's been pitching like an all-star. He just wasn't here long enough to really be in the qualifications for it. Jacob Smith able to work out of that trouble despite the leadoff walk for a respectable first inning there. Good to see him attack with that big bender on the first picture to Devin Obie. The Duke Blue Devil digs in from the right side. 231 hitter this summer is Obie. That one not contested there. Looked to be a changeup there from Jacob Smith. 18 hits and 78 tries for the righty out of Duke. It's a nice spot there from Jacob Smith, working the outer third of the zone there on the fastball. Has himself, again, we were talking about not being ahead up until now. That was his first batter here through 5 now that he started 0-1. Now you set up a 1-2 spot. Wave and a miss. Went inside. Good slider from Jacob Smith, retiring his first man on strikes for the first time today.
He's definitely settled himself down after really struggling with that first hitter in Seaver King and losing him to a leadoff walk, but he settled himself in and he's playing well right now.
His 14 strikeouts now this summer are by no means an outlier. He struck out 104 batters this year at West Alabama, was the Friday night guy this past season. First pitch swinging right at Bazana, the all-star, with a leaping grab. That one not all that contestable, though, for didn't really have to leave his feet there, did Bazana, though, but nonetheless, one pitch for the second out.
Yeah, the ball kind of looked like, when you see a ball hit on that line the way that it was, it normally is going to be hit harder than it was, and it just kind of hung there pretty softly hit at Bazana.
Didn't give us a chance to introduce the backstop, Brian Arndt, there on that first pitch effort, but now it's Casey Saki stepping in now. Again, another righty, 9 of them. Get used to it. The Virginia Cavalier takes the first one for a ball.
He had an up-and-down year this year, but was outstanding in 2022. Freshman All-American for the Cavaliers. He was highly touted, too. Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of New York.
Takes that one in there. As you mentioned, really, really good 2022 for Sauki. But he works in there now in a 1-1 count. It's another good spot. Heads up there in the Harwich dugout. Seems to be finding a comfort getting that slider in on the hands in these righties.
And that's the one thing about seeing so many righties in this lineup is you can get comfortable with it, and you can build an attack plan against these guys and stick to it.
Sauki just throwing the hands of that one, getting anything on it. Earned himself a Collegiate Baseball Newspaper Freshman All-America Team honoree. It's a perfect game in D1 Baseball first-team Freshman All-American during that 2022 campaign. Got a big hanging slider right at the new man, Kevin Brady. Welcome to the Commodores as number 9 in white makes the play. 1-2-3 inning as the side is retired. Working quickly here are we from Jacob Smith, with Falmouth headed to the bottom half, still scoreless. But first, a message about Cape Cod Healthcare.
Cape Cod Healthcare is proud to be the official healthcare sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. When you need to be seen quickly for minor illness or injury, Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care provides convenient and cost-effective treatment options with 6 locations across Cape Cod from Falmouth to Orleans. Open daily with no appointment needed and staffed by board-certified ER providers. View wait times at capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care, minor emergencies, major attention. You're watching Falmouth Commodores Baseball.
The Doors went 1-2-3 against Dominic Pacone the first time they saw him. It'll be Cade Snell, Walker Yannick, and Tyler McGregor. Lefty, righty, lefty for the Doors. Here in the home half of the second, Cade Snell, 3 runs driven in under his name yesterday for the Doors. And part of that big win, already up to 15 driven in. He joins the party up there at the very top. 4 guys tied with 15 runs driven in for Falmouth. Works a 1-1 count, gets on it, lined up the middle, and Cade Snell, to no surprise, has extended his hit streak, or rather the on-base streak, to 19 games now.
He just hits again and again and again and found himself a pitch that he could hit over the heart of the plate, lines it right back up the middle. It's a really similar swing to what we saw from both Spikerman and Bazana. They just got a little more lift to theirs, and that allowed Obi to run him down.
I was talking to John Spikerman about that. You know, he's been one of those guys that's kind of been hot and cold in terms of hits and then exploding like he did against YD. And this is rather obvious, I would imagine, but as you see that one in and out of the glove of Arndt, but still called for a strike. He would rather have a game going 0 for 5 with 5 really good swings and trajectories on the baseball versus, you know, a couple of hits in a game that aren't really his best swings. That's what he was telling me during batting practice. Saw some good swings from both those guys, really, yesterday in Chatham, and then again for John in that game at Red Wilson Field a couple of days ago. Another guy's been swinging the baseball real well is Walker Yannick right here in the box for the Doors. He gets on one here and deposits it into left. Back-to-back singles for the Doors. Falmouth in business here in the second, still with nobody out.
That's what we talked about in that first inning, was they were seeing Pacone well and picking up good swings on his pitches, and they're continuing that into the second inning, but this time they're finding some outfield grass.
Now you get Tyler McGregor, had himself an RBI knock yesterday. Drove in the 4th run for Falmouth, so between the 2 first basemen on the roster, came up big yesterday on the road at Veterans Field. Secured the Commodores' 3rd win in 4 tries against the Chatham A's this season. Unless the unthinkable happens where Chatham really turns this thing around, we probably won't see the A's again.
Yeah, it would have to be in the final.
It would have to be in the final, absolutely right. Pacone, traffic to work with here. Gets a call there, low and away to McGregor.
Chatham's having a rough time in Katuitt as well right now. That game is 12-2 in the 4th.
Well, who isn't having a tough time when you match up against the Kettleers this season?
Very true.
McGregor went after a fastball in the outer 3rd. Pacone, first time really seeing him in a jam here. Tried to work backwards there for that first out. McGregor wasn't fooled, at least was able to buy himself this next pitch here. Got under it. It's in on the infield, though, for Culpepper, but he gets called off by Devin Obi. The 2 joke about it, laugh about it there in short center field. That's the first out.
That's exactly the way you want to play that, though. If you're the shortstop, Culpepper, you're attacking it like it's your ball, and you're going back on it, and then the outfielder calls you off, you get out of the way and let him make the play.
The Dallas Baptist outfielder in right field today for Jeff Trundy. Nate Humphreys launched his second home run of the year yesterday at Veterans Field, a long one, 424.
I was going to say, keyword launched. That ball was destroyed in the 9th inning.
Hit 14 of them at school here. He gets on this one out to really deep right center field. This one will one-hop the wall. Cade Snell will score. Getting the wave is Yannick, and the throw won't even come in. How about that? Nate Humphreys has himself in a groove with a 2-run double to open the scoring.
That's what you're looking for. Found himself a barrel, pulled it right into that gap.
That works. Nate Humphreys starting to really put something together here.
And he's sneaking up towards those RBI leaders. That's now 12 for him.
For a guy that plays pretty much every other day, that is certainly what you can live with. If you're Nate Humphreys.
His big games have been massive games. When he's been swinging it well, he's put himself in a really good spot.
So 2-0 for Falmouth. After a really quick worked first inning by Dominic Picone, the tables have turned a little bit here. Now Gavin Turley. This one gets away. Arndt with a throw down and under the tag. Karstetter, little surprised. From our vantage point partner, it kind of looked like Humphreys got under it.
And very quickly, here comes Steve Angler.
He wants to have a word with Mike Hinojosa here. I agree with the call. It did look like he swam a little bit under that tag.
Yeah, it was tight.
You don't see it often where some of the skippers get super fired up and even potentially tossed in some of these summer games, but wouldn't expect to see that here. But that is something to note as we move on throughout this game.
It's something that has happened with Steve Englert this summer already once, and he doesn't get it there, and he heads back to the dugout, but it's something to keep an eye on.
So just like that, Nate Humphreys moves over to third base. The infield now going to move in, sensing the situation here because of that wild pitch. An immediate threat now stands in Nate Humphreys just 90 feet away. Gavin Turley has gotten himself going a little bit here now. 3 hits in his last 2 outings that he's appeared in. Didn't see him yesterday in Chatham. Slider top of the zone to find the first strike in this at-bat.
Turley had a lot of hype coming into this summer, but he's had that hype for a long time. He was the highest-rated prospect in Oregon State history.
Wave and a miss, and he loses the baseball bat once again. That's been his Achilles heel, is keeping the wood stick in his hands.
That's the 4th time he's lost it this season. There's a running counter going somewhere, I'm sure.
Well, the way to forget about that and make people forget about it is finding a way to put the baseball through here and bring in Nate Humphreys. That would certainly do it. If not, the new man, Kevin Brady, will step in with a chance to drive in a run. He's awaiting on deck. Humphreys, rather Turley down the line, and that will bring in Humphreys. Turley, a really, really wide turn at first. He gets back. An RBI single. Picks up another RBI for the rising sophomore from Oregon State. It's a 3-spot for Falmouth in the second.
It's a good swing. Pulled the hands in and just kept it fair down that line.
You mentioned it the other day, Zach. The floodgates with Gavin Turley have appeared to start to open and come on out here. But it is Kevin Brady for the first time this season. Better than a 400 hitter at Wheaton College this year. Works in there from the right side. It's a really good block there by Arndt, but the ball takes him up the line and it won't even draw a throw. That was a really impressive block, but his redirect ran away from him.
Yeah, Turley kind of slowly started to creep off the bag, and then as he saw that ball was going to keep running away from Arndt, he just took off.
Well, this inning for Harwich has sort of gotten in trouble here. Line drive. Right at Obi. He makes another putout out there in center field. The Doors getting the baseball out there for out number 2.
From Oklahoma, number 17, John Spikerman.
Spikerman, again from the left side, the switch hitter. Had a line out to Devin Obi out there in center field, his first go around. Chance to drive in a run here for Spike. Don't always see that with the guys in the leadoff spot unless the bottom half can really set the table, and it's been a lot of that here in this second inning. John left that changeup down there. Back-to-back 2-0 counts. Inning's getting a little long here. Pitch number 31 is a wave and a miss. Let's find that first strike. Spikerman may be looking for the fastball there, the decision to swing. Trying to bring in that guy right there. Gavin Turley extending his primary lead. Oh, the changeup and a back pick chance goes out into center field. The ball's been going all over the place here in this inning, and a throw in gets away, and Gavin Turley moves up. That one gets into the outfield, and Arndt is going to be charged with an error. That allows another man to move up on a weird situation to third base.
Yeah, just trying to get really aggressive there, and it's something that I'm not sure I really love that approach with 2 outs, especially in a spot where you've got 2 strikes as well.
A chance to put it away there and just flush what just happened, and can't quite get it there. Now it's a full count. You definitely don't want to give Bazana a chance in this inning if you're Harwich. That pitch out into foul ground and left. Just on the other side of the warning track there. Really wasn't that far out. It could have definitely been played on. I think that's still the fair ground there where you can make that catch, Zach.
It would have been really close on where that netting would extend. It's kind of up to the umpire's judgment at that point.
It's a full count now to John Spikerman. Swing and a miss. Comes up empty, but not before 3 Doors come across home plate. Nate Humphreys drives in to himself. Then Gavin Turley, the youngster, pulls one down the line to bring in 3 runs for Falmouth on 4 hits. And no mistakes from the Doors. That's it for the second. We'll move on to the third. The good guys in front on the Commodores Baseball Network.
Want to display some Falmouth pride? Show your support for the Commodores by picking up a rally rag at the intern tent. Rally rags are $2 each or 3 for $5, and you can wave them all summer long while you cheer on the team. Wear your rags to home games or raise them high to help us close the door on our opponents. Just make sure to get yours today. Supplies are selling fast.
Light little breeze here at the Gov. Warm one, though. It's been real warm here in this month of July. We're certainly feeling it here in the broadcast booth, but slightly overcast. Not too much, though. The sun is still out here in Falmouth.
It's been a nice day. It's a good day for baseball.
So far, good day for Falmouth baseball. 4 hits already for the Doors, all of them in that second inning, really getting on Dominic Pacone, and more importantly, offering some run support to Jacob Smith, who himself had a really good second inning, worked a 1-2-3. He's ready to begin The third against Kennedy Jones. Was batting up near the top of the order in that third game of the season. But as you mentioned, Zach, earlier, with players coming in and Team USA and transactions flip-flopping, sometimes you shuffle the cards up a lot here in the Cape League.
Yeah, you do. It's been something that we've seen even with Falmouth. I mean, you think back to opening night, you had Gavin Keelan leading off a lot. Now he's been hitting 7, 8, 9.
That's right. Left on right here. Jones went fishing for that one. Came up empty.
Really good changeup. Good north-south movement on that pitch, and that's why you'll get a lot of swings like that where guys are thinking that they're going to hammer a pitch that kind of floats in and then it drops out of nowhere.
Appeared to be the slider there, a little bit low. Jones this summer, just a hair over 200 on the average, has been one of the longest stapled pieces of this Harwich lineup. In there for at-bat number 89. This one sees a fastball there, 2-2. But we continue on throughout this season. Game number 33 on the summer taking place here on this beautiful night for ball. Check swing, did he go? No, he did not. There wasn't even an appeal down on that one. So from being ahead on Kennedy Jones, now Jacob Smith working from behind. The 3-2 offering. Swing and a miss. Slowed it down. Strikeout number 2 for Smith is our first out here in the third.
He just looks so comfortable up there. Allowed that leadoff walk, and you started to wonder, is Harwich going to try and put up a big number early again? Are we going to see something similar to we saw the last time these two teams met here? But after that, Jacob Smith took over.
Now it's Daniel Rivera, tonight's second baseman for the Harwich Mariners, and he is no ordinary 9-hole hitter. My eyes open when I saw that he swiped 50 bases this year at Kansas State.
He can run.
I mean, 50 is just an absurd number as he's backed off the plate here to even this count up. Big breaking ball. Brady. A little bit lower throw here on his second chance for a putout. But so far, so good for the new guy in town here in Falmouth for out number 2.
Nice pick at first by McGregor. Something he's been working on all summer long and made it look real easy right there.
He looks good, comfortable over there, really. Again, a lot of these infielders, you know, especially making it up to this level of ball, you have to be versatile to some extent, just showing that you're capable of playing in multiple different spots. But again, being a middle infielder at Wheaton College, getting your first chances here in the Cape League over at the hot corner, it's not that easy, especially against a lineup loaded with guys that are going to be pulling it to you a lot tonight.
Including Seaver King, who is one of the best prospects out here on the Cape this summer, really highly touted. That's why he's headed to Wake Forest, a D2 All-American at Wingate. He was outstanding. 36 extra base hits this year for the Bulldogs.
That will certainly get you noticed, and in this case, jump you up to the next level of division baseball. Wake Forest, too. Run to Omaha for the Demon Deacons this year.
It was a real good team. Had talent up and down. Former Cape League MVP Brock Wilkin on the offensive side. And then you had one of the best pitchers in baseball in Rhett Lauder on the defensive side.
Really good looking slider there. Working. Again, it starts off the plate, and he's able to find it for a strike. A lot of the time, Zach, we saw at Doran Park, he'll use it in that outer third of these righties, just not wanting to put anything in their swing path, but for when it looks like a ball the majority of the time, then it finds a way to keep moving back into the zone. It works real well for Smith out there. Looking for the put-away, the 2-2. Heads up. Off the dugout, foul. Heads up, Scott Semanchik, our videographer down there at the third base line. That one by a matter of feet. Keeps his head intact.
Yeah, a bit of a wake-up call. They say pitchers aren't athletes, but he's a pitcher.
I was going to say, he's a baseball player. He's very familiar with foul balls and stuff being over there. Hopefully, Scott's smiling now. Gave us a wave. He looks okay. We keep going, the 2-2. Drops off the plate. Once again, Seaver King, been a tough putout. He walked last time in a full count situation. It's been the toughest at-bat really all day. Aside from the Kennedy Jones full count strikeout he just had, but Seaver King has made him work for it. Rightfully so.
Yeah, you don't hit 400 this season at Wingate and then over 400 so far right now. And just continuing to work at bats, and that's how you do that.
The battle continues. Jacob Smith trying to get it here. The offering. Chopper to Brady. This one in and out of the glove. Can he recover in time? No, he can't.
He tried to almost look like he was going to play it off the short hop and then got to it a little too soon and kind of went off the end of the glove before it hit the ground on that hop. Would have been a really tough play. We'll see what the ruling is on that charge.
They're going to rule that one a base hit. Just a tough play.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that's a spot where it's really tough for Brady to make that play and then get the out with a quick runner and King.
Trying to get him here. In a pickoff move, McGregor thought he had him. That was pretty close.
Better throw, he might have got him. That throw was up. McGregor had to reach up for it and then slap the tag. Had that throw been a little lower and right ready to slap one down, he probably gets him.
Pulls the string on Karstetter here. Gets a good strike picked up there. Makes it 0-1. Hit .298 this year. State College of Florida. Hit and run situation. A diving play by Brady off his back foot. What a play! One of the best web gems you'll see all summer long on the Cape, and the new guy. Welcome to Falmouth, Kevin Brady. Through 3. Doors bats coming up. We'll be right back.
League dreams? Do they want to learn from the stars of tomorrow? Then check out the Falmouth Commodores Summer Baseball Clinics, where kids from the ages of 5 to 14 can hone their skills in pitching, hitting, fielding, and catching with help from the best college players in the nation. The clinics run from June to late July, and the 6 4-day sessions are divided by age group and experience level. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Give your kids a summer of baseball and a lifetime of memories.
Go Doors!
The Beaver, Travis Bazzana, will get us going here after that exciting end of the top half of this third inning. Kevin Brady, pretty good start to this ball game, Zach. A sharp line out. Had a couple of plays over there at third, including probably the best defensive play we've seen from an infielder this year.
Yeah, he may find himself on some highlight shows after that one. That was spectacular.
Bazzana works a opportunity now in the 1-1. Picone trying to settle down after that 3-run frame he surrendered last time he was towing the rubber. Travis Bazzana, one of those 4 guys tied at the very top for Falmouth in RBIs. John Spikerman wants to join that discussion too. He's at 13. That's a lineup that is complementary to everyone helping out. You can win a lot of baseball games when you've got contributions from multiple 1 through 9.
It's the best way to do it. Complementary baseball.
Bazzana gets under this one out into right. Saki makes that play, and the first one retires Bazzana here in the bottom of the 3rd.
Picone continued to pound him with inside fastballs, and Bazzana frustrated with himself that he didn't catch that one cleaner.
The Ragin' Cajun, Kyle DeBarge, struck out swinging last time up. Wanted to change that here. He jumps on one out to center. Devin Obie, once again, doesn't have a hole in his glove. He makes another one out there on the first pitch to DeBarge.
Yeah, he's had get a lot of steps in today, but he's doing a nice job out there.
Cade Snell, the next man to bat. 19 consecutive games since joining the Falmouth Commodores. And in all of them, he has found his way on base. That is not a typo. And that has slowly but surely vaulted him into this cleanup role now over the last several days.
Earned him an all-star appearance.
That as well. A little late on this one going down the left field line. Gives Kennedy Jones a chance at a putout. It does it successfully. 3 fly ball outs for Falmouth as the Doors go down in order. 1, 2, 3. As we move on to the 4th, we send it to Destiny Sanchez.
Thanks, guys. Some scores around the Cape. The Hyannis Harp Hawks and the YD Red Sox are tied 2-2 at the top of the 7th. The Katuitt Kettleers lead the Chatham Anglers 12-4 in the bottom of the 5th. The Wareham Gatemen and the Brewster Whitecaps are tied 3-3 in the bottom of the 7th. And the Orleans Firebirds and the Bourne Braves are also tied in the bottom of the 3rd. You've been watching Falmouth Commodores Baseball.
Caitlin Culpepper, 3-4-5, will lead it off for the Harwich Mariners here. Had a pop-up on the infield to Travis Bazzana last time. With Jacob Smith again, worked a really, really good inning last time despite the base hit he gave up to Seaver King. That wasn't a full count. Seaver King's been really, really good so far early in this game, Zach. Working those tough at-bats. But other than that, Jacob Smith hasn't had too much trouble against the rest of the 8 in the lineup for the Mariners today. But he's behind now, 2-0 to Culpepper.
And he's trying to keep himself locked in on the mound. We saw him a couple different times go out and throw with Willie Baker in the bullpen, just trying to stay loose.
There's that big curveball. Broke too much, though. And that's it right there. Our radar gun here in-house not entirely all that accurate, but I do know the numbers on TrackMan did show that pitch was at 68 miles an hour last time we saw it when he was on the mound. That one probably right in that ballpark, but comes back with the heater here, 20 miles an hour faster.
Yeah, he had 22 miles an hour between his fastest pitch and his slowest pitch against Bourne, and that'll play.
Looking to tightrope through this one here in the 3-1. And he loses Culpepper here for a leadoff walk.
Leadoff walks are never ideal, but at the end of the day, you work with what you have to work with.
Leadoff man aboard. And now Mason Guerra will come in. First offering from Jacob Smith. In there for a strike. With the man on here now, contending for the Doors. Try to check on over. Keeping tabs on the base runner.
It's a tough part of the order to go through. Smith's been comfortable just trying to settle himself back in after that walk.
Couple moves over there now. Culpepper has some speed himself. Trying to keep tabs on him over there. It's a good offering there on the outer third from Smith. Does such a good job utilizing that part of the zone, Zach.
And a good frame job from Walker Yannick. That's something he does so well. They just came out with the framing runs metric from the Cape League Analytics, and it wasn't close. Walker Yannick was head and shoulders above the rest of the field in that.
Tried to work him backwards. Seen a couple of arms do that here throughout. Just situations and maybe what, Zach? Just the scouting report and what you want to offer against certain guys?
Well, and a lot of these guys, especially like a cleanup hitter like this, Guerra's looking for something to drive. And so if you give him an elevated fastball 0-2, his eyes might get big, thinking he's got something that he can hit hard.
Another foul ball here. Good battle working from Mason Guerra, the first baseman in there. Been keeping John Spikerman busy. Several F8s on my card here tonight so far.
Quite a few from both sides.
Right. Sometimes you pitch to the outfield. It works. The outs all look the same at the end of the game. The 1-2, but before that, another look to Tyler McGregor.
Culpepper's dancing, and Smith's looking right at him, and so Culpepper's trying to get in his head by jumping back and forth off the bag, see if he can create some motion in the peripheral vision of Smith as he delivers.
Fastball stays up to even this count at 2.
I like that pitch. Obviously better than the one before that looked like it kind of slipped out of his hand before his release point. But that pitch is just above the letters. If the hitter is looking to jump on an upstairs fastball, you're more than likely going to get a swing and a miss on that pitch.
Breaking ball. Sends Spikerman over to his right. Just got under it. That's a good result. Culpepper's speed will have to stay at first base for now for that first out. And now you see the picture, pick up and out there. We have a picture in the broadcasting booth. Joining us now is Parker Coyle. Been used pretty remotely out of the bullpen for Falmouth. Parker, you've had a really good start to your summer. How have you enjoyed coming in from Arkansas, getting used to life up here in Cape Cod?
It's been amazing. It really has. I've never been this far up northeast or this north, so it's definitely been a different experience, and it's been nothing but amazing. I can't say enough about this league and everything that it has to offer, but just getting up here and coming from Arkansas and coming up here, it's been a really awesome time, and I felt like I fit right in with all these guys.
That's good. A good outing yesterday as well out there in Chatham. That was a game that when you were warming up, you guys were down.
Yes,
and then
sir.
by the time you come in, you got the lead. How's that feeling?
It flipped really quickly. It was really good to see. Cade had a great at-bat there with, I think it was bases loaded.
Mm-hmm.
And, he just put a good swing on a ball. And Kyle running around the bases, a little speed demon, and it was good to see, warming up. I was just prepared to go in and get outs, and nothing really changed for me. Now that we had a lead, it's good to have, and it makes you feel a lot better as a pitcher, but nothing changed. The game plan was still the same, just go in there and execute.
A guy like Jacob Smith that we've seen tonight, he's looked really good for the most part throughout the outing, but throws so many different pitches. What have you seen from him so far since he's been out here? This is only a couple of weeks now.
It was really funny. He's definitely got one of the better personalities on the team, and he's a great clubhouse guy. But it fits him so perfect to have. We tried to count them, and we can't put an exact number on it, but it's like 6 or 7 different pitches, and he really uses them so well, and he has a great feel for all of them. And they're not very different from each other, but whenever he throws all of them, it's just the slightest thing that makes them different that I think really messes with the hitters.
Just trying to catch up to the live action here. It appears that they're going to call batter interference on that throwdown, Zach.
Yeah, Devin Obie swung, and his swing took him over the plate, basically, with his momentum, and Yannick comes up throwing, and he runs into Obie, and so they send the runner back to first base, and the batter's out.
That's an interesting way to take care of a runner. Now trying to back pick here. As a pitcher up there on the mound, Parker, when a lot of chaos is like that, going on, what do you do in your routine when you have a base runner like Culpepper in this instance who's dancing and trying to get, in the back of your mind?
Right. In that case, you just kind of have to put the pressure on them, pick off a few times, like mixing up your looks, different holds, like everything. Like, you just can't be predictable up there, and you can't let them get in a rhythm and a timing that they know that they can take a jump. And it is something that you have to be more conscious of and you have to think about. But as the outing goes on, or as you see someone at first base, you just have to really step back to what your practice is and mix everything up and keep the looks different.
We talked a little bit before you jumped on with us about Walker Yannick and his framing ability. What's it been like working with these different catchers, and specifically Yannick?
It's awesome. Like, having a guy like Walker behind the plate, it makes you feel amazing as a pitcher, because you know that you can throw a ball or two off and you're going to get that call because of what Walker can do behind the dish. And that's not even speaking about his arm. I mean, he is an absolute hose behind there, and if you got a guy at first that's got some speed, I'm not afraid to give him a fastball and let Walker do his thing, because I know he's got my back.
Now, over these last couple outings we've seen from you, you've not just, you've had multiple innings of work. So how do you keep yourself relatively still in your motions and staying composed out there when at times when there's some offensive games, for example, the 3-run inning that we saw the Doors have yesterday to suddenly take the lead, you've got to keep yourself ready in the dugout to go back out there, and
right.
It's not, like 5 minutes in the dugout. It could be a much more longer extended period of time.
It's something that everyone's different. Some people like to throw plyo walls against the back of the wall. Some dudes like to go out in the bullpen and toss with the catcher. It really just depends. But for me, I just like to just stay up, stay moving around, keep my body moving, and make sure that I don't lose any of that body warmth, that heat, that feeling that it keeps me going. So when I'm out there, or when I go back out there, I feel like I'm still in the zone.
So coming into the SEC as a freshman, best baseball conference in the country. How was the experience down there?
It was amazing. A lot of ups and downs this year, and it was nothing but really great experience for me. Just learning from those dudes, having all those opportunities, and just being able to carry that into this summer and into these next few years. It's been great.
Had yourself a really good, time in high school as well, coming out the number 4 pitcher out of the state of Oklahoma. Did you feel like you were given every opportunity during that freshman year to succeed? I mean, 22 innings as a first-year player, certainly that speaks for itself.
Absolutely. And I had a few chances to start, too, and the coaches definitely gave me more than enough opportunities, and to be able to go out and to be able to go out and execute and pitch this year. I was put in some great opportunities and some great spots to learn and have experience. But yes, sir, I felt like I got a great amount of opportunity and a great amount of chances to learn this year.
Well, certainly showing so far this summer. You've backed it up, earning that spot here in the Cape League, and you've been a lot of fun, my friend, to watch and to see you compete, and has now become, one of the better pitchers in this back end of the bullpen.
Yeah, it's been great working up here with all the guys and being able to pick each other's brains. Like, we just have so many different personalities and so many different people on this team that it's people come from different spots, different theologies, philosophies, whatever you want to say. And it's just good to pick their brains and be able to take information from them because everyone knows a lot here. And this is a really talented league, as I'm sure all of y'all know. And it's just good to be able to have that experience, even with the coaches. Like, I was talking with Coach Landry the other day, like, trying to develop a new changeup and a new grip, and he was really helping me out with that. So, like, it's just a continuous stream of knowledge and stuff that you can pick and grab from people all around this place.
So far, everything you've learned, probably what you've said to others, has certainly worked for this group that continues to dominate in terms of the back-end bullpen, what we've seen from Falmouth, and one of those arms right here with us, Mr. Parker Coyle. Thank you for joining us here during this fourth inning, and we wish you the best of luck in your next outing.
Thank y'all, for real. Thank you.
That was Parker Coyle hanging out with us here in the broadcast booth during that top of the fourth inning. Really good to hear from a pitcher who has his stuff working for him. Get a wave and a miss there. Good stuff working there from Picone. But nonetheless, Zach, that first outing, one of the first ones we saw from Coyle, the tough loss against Katuitt, was in and gave up 4 runs, 10 hits, just really struggled. But since then, has surrendered just 1 run over his last 6 outings.
Yeah, he's been outstanding.
Strikeout right there to Walker Yannick to lead off the bottom of the fourth for the Falmouth Commodores here. The backstop goes down. First time today he's been retired. He had that base hit down the left field line in his first go. Now Tyler McGregor will step in. Flew out to center, giving Obi a lot to work with out there. One of the many putouts to center we've seen in this game, as we were joking about a little bit earlier. That appeared to be down in the zone there a little bit.
McGregor certainly thought so, but you also got to wonder here how much longer we're going to see Jacob Smith, because there's already an arm up and warming for the Doors. Hunter Hodges getting loose.
His pitch count, certainly not anything to have to worry about, but could just be precautionary, trying to get him maybe to be in line for the decision. Going one more inning there in the fifth, I'd imagine, could hopefully be the goal here for Jacob Smith and even Mike Landry, too. We'll see how much longer we see from Smith. The 2-2 to McGregor. Cut on missed. Jammed him inside for the second out.
Picone getting better as the game goes on. He had himself just 2 strikeouts through the first 3 innings, back-to-back here in the fourth.
It's Nate Humphreys now. Big 2-run double off the wall in right field. Out to right center. No one on for him now, though, and maybe had the bunt sign on here with 2 away.
Well, and you also had down that third base line, Karstetter was playing almost on the outfield grass.
Now a little bit more in on the infield. Now he'll retreat pretty deep back there. Scouting report likes to show that Humphreys, his extra base hits have been pulled, but he's one of the better hitters in terms of coming in from college at DBU. He goes up the ladder here and is retired on 3. The Doors are retired with 3 consecutive strikeouts from Picone, who's got 5 in the ball game through 4. Falmouth on top by 3 as we go to the 5th, but first a message from Destiny Sanchez.
Thanks, guys. The Cape League All-Star Game is coming to White House Field in Harwich on July 22nd. Gates will open at 1:30 p.m. A home run derby will begin at 4 p.m. and first pitch is scheduled for 6 p.m. Tickets are $10 each with free admission for children 12 and younger. Tickets are now available online at capecodbaseball.org, at the merchandise booth under the press box at Gov Fuller Field, or will be available at the gate on July 22nd. Buy yours today and come watch the top players from across the league all on the same field this Saturday. We'll catch you on the other side of the break watching Falmouth Commodores baseball.
It's been a couple of days since our last home broadcast. I hope you haven't forgotten about our fun antics throughout the broadcast. Trivia question. When did the Doors move to the Gov? Do you know the answer, Zach?
I do know the answer. I'm the one that comes up with the trivia questions. Somewhat. I had some help from our people today. We're talking it over with Audrey Glenn and Scott Samanchik back there.
Another hint, it was before me and Zach's time. That's my only hint that usually works for a lot of these trivia questions.
Yeah, it was quite a bit before our time.
Kennedy Jones will lead off the top of the 5th inning here. All Doors so far, nearing the halfway point of this ball game. That 3-run second inning for Falmouth still standing as the big punch from the Doors here. Jones didn't get all of that one, but he delivers to Smith to McGregor for out number 1.
It's a strong throw. Coming away from the throw, he has to reset himself and did a nice job to do that and deliver on target.
Looked like a mere replica yesterday if we saw Evan O'Toole have an opportunity. That allowed the Chatham A's to score their first of 2.
Yeah, he just let that throw sail. He didn't snap it down like we saw Smith do there.
Daniel Rivera now takes that one in there for a strike. Again, a threat on the bases. Hasn't gotten on just yet, but those 50 stolen bags at Southern New Hampshire this year. Certainly something that, regardless of the program, you have to make note of. I mean, there is just no hiding the fact that one singular person could swipe that many bases in a college season. I mean, that is just...
You got to be on base that many times to swipe that many bases, too. Tells you about the rest of the numbers as well.
Had a .467 on base percentage at school this year.
I mean, he's played 11 games with Harwich, already has 7 stolen bags for the Mariners.
And you never want to be one-dimensional, but that's not what he is. Getting ready to go on to Kansas State, but hit .365, 77 hits, 9 over the fence, nearly 40 runs driven in, too. And oh, by the way, all those slugging numbers, when he gets on base, he will take some bases, no doubt about it. But none today so far. But Jacob Smith trying to retire him for the second time today. Drops that one down. Yannick likes the spot there. Just a tempting pitch there to the second baseman of the Harwich Mariners. Makes it 1-2.
And this is one of the worst guys in the league that you can fall behind at the plate because Jacob Smith has so many pitches he can go to. In an 0-2 count, you have no idea what's coming.
Wanted to work him backwards there, and a fastball at the letters. Said to be a little too high from Chris Kane behind the plate. But as you mentioned, Zach, Hunter Hodges is warming. Would have to imagine that Smith would see the rest of the batters, unless this inning gets out of hand here in the 5th. The 2-2. Curveball down. And a good battle brewing here. We've got a full count. This will be pitch number 79 coming up from Smith. Probably nearing the cap, I'd imagine, here as he's trying to find his way through the 5th inning. The offering sliced off the netting above the dugout of the Falmouth Commodores. Protecting the fans here gathered. Really good number here on this Wednesday night. Fans all the way down the right field line. A good amount gathered in left in the visitor section here for the Mariners. Another 3-2 pitch from Jacob Smith. Swing and a miss. Fastball upstairs. He's able to retire the tough bat there. And Daniel Rivera for out number 2.
Haven't seen as many punch-outs as we saw from him in his last outing, but at the end of the day, strikes out 4. He hasn't allowed any runs just yet.
Looking real good now is Jacob Smith to this point. And there is a mound visit being had, and that will be it for Jacob Smith. So with that said, won't officially be in line for a decision after this one comes to an end because he didn't finish 5 innings as a starter. So technically, it would go from there to depend on the most effective relief arm for Falmouth. Hunter Hodges has a chance to start that off right here. We'll have his numbers and more on the righty coming in when we come back on the Commodores Baseball Network.
We're going to have to cut out like 85% of this, so my bad. Tab Tracy!
Guy, you deserve it. I just think I deserve it like next week.
For sure. Hey, Tab Tracy on the mic next week.
Not tomorrow. Why?
Bro, you put every ounce of your body into that one. You hit it. You hit it. I literally went like this. Gots. Is that Turley?
Yeah.
He has juice.
Yeah, he's got stupid juice.
So who's balling?
Man, Travis Bazzana.
Travis.
Anybody
Kev.
else?
Baller.
Joey.
Joey Baller. Man, all of our All-Stars, man.
Facts. I want to shout out my mom, my dad, Christy Taylor, Jeremy Taylor, Bethany Rose Taylor, my granny, and that whole side of the family. I done made it on TV. Look at me.
Hunter Hodges, the righty out of TCU, will take over for Jacob Smith here in this last out needed in the 5th.
Hunter Hodges has some of the best stuff of anybody on this team in terms of pure stuff, but he struggled to locate a little bit. So when he's locked in, you're going to see what he can do.
Hodges, last time out, not one of his better outings here so far with Falmouth, but gets his second pitch to be played over to Kevin Brady. That works. You get out of the 5th, 1, 2, 3 with the help of Jacob Smith, and now Hunter Hodges. Falmouth works a nice 1, 2, 3 defensively. With the bats coming up when we come back. We mentioned where the doors stand today on this July the 19th. Harwich has come back to earth just a little bit there in the east, sitting right in the middle of the row. But you see those gatemen tomorrow, Zach, and that could have some impact on how the rest of this West Division shapes out.
Especially if the scores hold the way they are right now, because that would put Falmouth in a spot where they're 5 games up on Wareham and a chance to get even further up tomorrow in a head-to-head, and that would guarantee Falmouth the tiebreaker between the two. It put the Doors in a really good spot to get pretty close to locking up a playoff spot. which is something that at the very start of this year did not at all look likely.
3 wins in the first 15. Since then, the Doors have turned it around. That run of 11 of the team's next 14. Now the team is kind of going back and forth with 2 wins in the last 7. But now it'll be Gavin Turley leading it off. Sees a fastball inside. Had himself an RBI single last time. But been really good to see Gavin Turley swing a good bat and heads up again. Just seems to be a recurring theme from Gavin Turley, losing the baseball bat.
There's 5.
That's his second multi-lost bat game of the season. He'd have to go back to Wareham. 11-5 win for the Doors. The last time that Gavin Turley lost the baseball bat twice in the same game. He holds on to it here this time, but it's chopped just foul. His teammates give him a lot of jokes about that. It's happened quite a bit for Turley. Let's see if he can make up for it here. He did last time. Was stranded at third, though. The rest of that trip, he sends one the other way on a line. Daniel Rivera finds the first out in his glove against Gavin Turley.
Another good swing from Gavin, though. He's continuing to swing the bat better, waiting for him to get one up in the jet stream. His BP rounds. If you're coming to watch a Cape League game and you're going to come see BP, that's a guy you want to watch his BP round.
So now Kevin Brady ahead of it 2-0 here. Might be 0 for 1, but basically hit a home run on the defensive side of the ball game. That diving snag. Such a great way to get out of the inning for Falmouth when he made that play.
And it's got to be an adjustment to him a little bit coming up here to the Cape League. I asked him what he was doing before this, whether he was playing summer ball somewhere else. He was just playing in a local men's league, Matt. Just trying to stay fresh, and now he's out here.
It's funny how it works. I mean, the scout liaisons will find you.
Well, and especially when you've got one of his Wheaton teammates in Ryan McCarroll here.
He pops this one up here on the infield. Bacone's going to do it himself. Pitchers are athletes, too. He makes that play look routine for out number 2.
Bacone's really settled in. He gave up those 3 runs back in the second inning, and since then, he's went and retired himself 10 straight.
That he has. Trying to keep it going here with 2 away. Back to the top of the order. Big bending breaking ball. Outer third. Not in there. Taking on John Spikerman now. Spike trying to get himself going here in this ball game. 0 for 2 officially. Had a walk in the 9th inning yesterday in what was an 0 for 4 effort from Spike. But again, the day before that, had a lot of at-bats. It was the YD game that he really broke out. Again, even with those hot and cold kind of stretch of time, he still has 12 hits in his last 9 games, does Spikerman here at the top of the order.
That's what having those multi-hit efforts will do to you. Can really increase the hit total.
We had a bumblebee tight-roping my Charger in here, and our boss, Ernie Hyde, just took care of him like no one's business. Shout out to Ernie for taking care of that. I mean, we're busy here trying to work around here, and as you see the check swing there, Spike will go down to first. We're working about with our pens and our pencils and, you know, computers and whatnot, and Ernie saw the bee, took care of him himself.
That was a really good at-bat by Spikerman, too, to work himself on base and keep the inning alive for Bazzana.
It was a check swing down to Mike Hinoyosa as this one gets away. Spikerman He's got so much speed. He's thinking about third there, rounding the bag pretty aggressively. The check down, though, allows the inning to continue. The entire Harwich defense went out there back towards the dugout thinking that they got out of the inning. And now we'll see a mound visit here. Suddenly an inning that you thought you were out of. Now a base hit brings in Spikerman with ease.
There's no one actively throwing at the moment in the bullpen for Harwich. We'll see if they get something going or if they're just trying to get Picone out of this because, like we had said, he's really settled himself down, and now a base hit from Bazzana, which has been a very common occurrence, will bring in another run.
Picone, 71 pitches through 4 2/3 now. Been very effective, as you mentioned, through this second part of the order, excuse me. Really effective. 11 consecutive set down prior to Spikerman being walked. But Falmouth, the damage done in that second inning, a 2-run double by Nate Humphrey. Spikerman is going, and it's in and out of the glove of Art. There's no throw. He swipes another base.
Number 10 on the summer. Leads the team.
That he does. The first to double digits in stolen bases for John Spikerman. And again, that walk now stands at third base. You've got a really good bat to try to bring him on in. Travis Bazzana takes one down here. Got to wonder if the Mariners are even going to try to risk working something in for Bazzana to get. That was middle, and it's sent straight back.
Yeah, swinging 3-0.
Up 3 runs. You like what you got from Jacob Smith. Maybe confident in Hunter Hodges' abilities now over the next inning or so. Trying to swing 3-0. Got one here. Lined right at Guerra. Bazzana got all of it.
Wow.
And there's a little bit of chatter going on here to put an end to the inning. A little bit of a cliffhanger for the next time we see Bazzana in the batter's box. Sometimes it's just baseball. But nonetheless, the Doors strand John Spikerman at third to put us at an end in the 5th. When we come back, Zach Serdenik takes the headset for the play-by-play duties the rest of the way. It's 3-0 Falmouth here from the Gov.
Sanchez here with Falmouth's Chief of Police, Jeffrey Laurie. Jeffrey, we're at the Centennial Celebration. How's it feel to be here today?
I tell you, I'm excited to be here. I started July 1st. I've been here 2 weeks, very busy, beautiful community, been very welcoming to me, and honored to be here to celebrate 100 years, the Cape Cod League. It's just been a fantastic couple of weeks. Been busy, a little tired, but look forward to meeting everyone in town and really enhancing the quality of life and the services that we provide at the Falmouth Police Department. Just like the Commodores, I've got a fantastic team, and we're looking to get going and get to work and roll out some really cool new initiatives and programs to better serve those folks who are entrusted to protect.
Yeah, you mentioned you've been here for about 2 weeks now. What has been some of your favorite places in Falmouth or favorite aspects of the town?
There are so many. So I got to tell you, from the Heights to Silver Beach, I mean, the beaches are absolutely gorgeous. Meeting some of the different business owners in town, and I got a lot of favorite spots. A lot of restaurants, great food out here. And like I said, people have been extremely warm. We have been busy, and there was some negativity that we've dealt with, but to watch, a local business, Shipwreck, close their doors early to reduce crowds during the 4th of July festivities, to see residents from Falmouth Heights come out and clean up, some of the damage and, some of the debris. It was really just heartwarming. I'm in the right place, I'm in the right town, and I look forward to being part of this amazing team.
Well, Chief, welcome to Falmouth, and we're grateful to have you here at the Commodores Centennial Celebration.
Thank you so much, Destiny. I look forward to future collaborations with you and the Commodores.
Thank you.
Hunter Hodges out for his first full inning of work. Gets himself a good start with a curveball that's cut on and missed by Kevin Carstetter. 2-3-4 in the Harwich order. Things getting a little testy here, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, the temper's flaring a little bit, as we just saw. I mean, Most of the time, these guys have teammates on both sides, from their schools, so I don't think it's anything relatively personal. Sometimes just egos and emotions getting fired up.
Another good breaking ball from Hodges. He's ahead in the count 1-2 to Carstetter. Had a good year at State College of Florida, trying to bring that to the Cape. He went 3 for 4 in his debut, 0 for 2 so far tonight. Just misses with the fastball. Walker Yannick was ready to throw that one around, but instead it's 2-2.
Yeah, that one just missing there, low and away. Carstetter, good vision there in the box.
TCU Horned Frog on the mound. Bounces in a 2-2, and that one looks like it might have caught Chris Kane behind the plate. He'll take a second to gather himself. Waved off the trainer, though.
Yeah, and a good move here by Walker Yannick, obviously, to walk things over in the reverse role. If Yannick took a foul ball off of him, you'd see the home plate umpire walking out there to hand deliver the baseball to Hunter Hodges and then come back and maybe wipe the plate or two, kick some dirt around. Just a nice, good move there, sportsmanship, and, just giving Kane there all the time he needs behind the plate to get himself back together.
It's a 3-2 count now to Hodges. Started his collegiate career at UNC Wilmington before transferring to TCU for this season. 3-2, ground ball, just foul down that third base line. Gavin Brady already had a diving stop to take a hit away and probably extra bases away from Carstetter in his last at-bat. And this time, Brady was on the move again, but was just outside that third base bag.
I mean, you see it right there. Dirt on the jersey. That means you're having a good debut, good game overall. We've seen him look real good over there at third.
Hodges in a battle to start off the top of the sixth. Falmouth got all 3 runs in the bottom of the second. 3-2. This one hit to Brady, but a little more routine for him. 5-3 put out. Starts off this top of the sixth. One away. As we take a look back in this centennial season at this day in history, with the All-Star game coming up this weekend, had to get some All-Star into this game. 1946, July 19th, the first All-Star game played in the Cape League.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. As you see there, it's cool to keep the trend still going, obviously, and again, it's going to be really exciting to check this all out when we get to White House Field. And during that stretch of time, 1963 to 1969, it was the Upper Cape versus the Lower Cape in how they shaped out the All-Star game. Had a stretch of time where the All-Star game was played at Fenway Park. And now you have it more looking like Major League Baseball, where an individual team will host the festivities of that weekend.
Yeah, it was at Spillane Field last summer in Wareham, and now headed to White House Field and then Gov Fuller Field after that. Good fastball. Gets Hodges back into the count.
We got here a summer too early for the All-Star festivities at our own team, Zach.
We did, but got to enjoy the Centennial out here on the Cape, and some really good baseball, and a really good breaking ball right there against a high-level hitter in Culpepper. Big 12 matchup here, and the Horned Frog wins that pitch. Sets up a 2-2 against the Kansas State Wildcat. Don't blame him for trying to go back outside. Couldn't catch the edge, and another full count.
Well, the difference I noticed is the fact that Hunter Hodges has been able to set up that fastball early to then get us those breaking pitches like you saw the really good slider. That was non-existent his last time out.
Another payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Goes off speed again, punches him out. First strikeout on the outing for Hunter Hodges, and he's worked 3 up, 3 down since replacing Jacob Smith.
Hodges looks like he's found himself again, like we were seeing earlier on in the year. That outing against Chatham where he walked, I believe, 4 consecutive. Really tough stretch for him. He only went a third of an inning. But he looks back to himself here out on the mound.
First pitch misses the zone. To start off, Mason Guerra. Couple of fly balls to John Spikerman to his line today. Oregon State Beaver hitting in the cleanup spot for Harwich. Quickly 2-0 to Guerra. Also, Matt, you know how I mentioned that 12-2 game at Lowell Park?
Right.
It's 12-12 in the 7th inning. Chatham has put up 1 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, 4 in the 6th, and 4 in the 7th to tie that game.
Well, speaking that, we've seen the Chatham A's a couple of times this year in a group that offensively is down in the bottom in run scores, hits, average, all in 10th in the Cape League.
Leaping attempt by DeBarge, but it's over his head as Guerra finds himself a 2-out hit.
I mean, was just able to barrel a baseball there. There's nothing more than that, just over the shortstop's head. That's what they tell you to do. Just pulling one there on a line. Have to imagine there's been a lot of that at Lowell Park tonight, given the 12-12 football score we see over there. But
you might need to find some better kickers if it's 12-12, though.
That's true. Where you're looking at it, 2 touchdowns and some 2 missed extra
or
points.
You've got really good kickers, I guess, is the
and
other side
it's
of it.
4 field goals.
Right.
True.
That's Big Ten football right there. Lots of punts, lots of field goals in Big Ten country.
That's Arizona State football, really. No one else in the Pac-12, just the Sun Devils.
Pop back out of play by Devin Obie. He struck out in the second, was called out for batter's interference back in the 4th inning. And a 1-1 count awaits him now. Pitch just low to Obie. We were talking football, Matt. I mean, Obie comes from a football family. His dad played at Oregon and in the NFL for 8 years. His cousin, Charlie Jones Sr., played in the NFL with the San Diego Chargers. Uncle played in college. His brother played in college. A whole lot of football in his blood.
Well, it's funny when you think football and baseball players. A lot of people were confused why Kyler Murray didn't sign with the Athletics when he was drafted and instead wanted to go play football. Well, the better investment is you're not going to get hurt, the longevity of your career. Go play baseball. Well, Obie decided to do it himself here and play baseball instead of following the family trends out in the football field.
Popped off the glove of Yannick to the backstop, moves the runner into scoring position, and another full count.
Yeah, this is the second one that we've seen for Hunter Hodges. Won the battle on that putout from Kevin Brady down there at third. Would like to see something similar here.
Check swing, did not go, and a walk brings the tying run to the plate in the form of Brian Arndt.
Brian Arndt, while we had Parker Coyle up here, first pitch swinging, was able to get a base hit his last at bat. So you have an interesting spot here. There hasn't really been too much of a threat all day from Harwich. How will Hunter Hodges take on the adversity here?
Starts him off with a good breaking ball. That's been his best pitch so far tonight, and really is his best pitch overall if you're looking at the numbers and the analytics. And when he's dialed in, he can throw that pitch for a strike, as we've seen. And speeds it up a little bit. Couldn't catch that edge. Got a curveball that he'll throw. He has a slider, and then he has what's almost like a cutter-slider mix. Fastball popped up and out of play. Hodges ahead in the count, 1-2.
Yeah, went to it there, just trying to find, again, a way to get ahead. And a lot of guys will hunt first pitch fastballs, but sometimes when you buckle guys with that breaking pitch as the first offering, it's a good way to just get one over to then work ahead in the at-bat.
Breaking ball, fouled off. That was not a confident swing by Arndt. Just really defensive and stays alive.
That's interesting. In a 1-2 count, maybe, I guess, was certainly not expecting a pitch like that. Could have been looking for a changeup down or maybe even, I guess, the fastball. But ahead in the count, going to that breaking pitch makes a lot of sense.
Another 1-2. Did he go around? He did not. Commodores not having any luck checking down to Anthony Brunetti tonight. Good battle by Arndt. He's back even. Arndt Has his older brother Jason also playing at UNC Wilmington. Really highly touted out of high school. Ground ball to third. Brady will just take it himself the easy way for out number 3. Harwich gets a pair on the base paths with 2 away, but Hodges shuts him down. It's 3-0. Falmouth in front. Head to the bottom of the 6th from Gov Fuller Field.
Priscilla Peruzzi has been a host family for the 2nd year. We found that every single player, even those that weren't staying with us, were polite, respectful, and really appreciated what you were doing for them.
After a while, they were bringing home players, and they were always hanging out down in the man cave.
Almost every day is another memory that you make. We even have friends of ours that will text us and let us know, did you see what happened? We've gotten a lot of other people supporting them as well.
Bottom of the 6th inning here at Gov Fuller Field. And earlier we asked you a trivia question about when it came to Gov Fuller Field. When did the Doors start playing here? Well, you'd have to go all the way back to 1964 to get the start of Falmouth Commodores baseball at Gov Fuller Field. Originally started playing out ballpark over in Falmouth Heights.
That's right, straight down the road. Now you have the Doors here in this nice part of town in Falmouth near the downtown area that they've got gathered here. Really nice spot. I love the town here, and obviously the folks here gathered love their baseball with the Commodores.
And the Commodores have given them some good baseball to this point in the night. As Harwich makes a pitching change headed to the 6th, it's Aiden Moza.
Moza is going to take the mound, and to this point in the summer has been used now going to be 5 times out of Alabama, and a 3.29 ERA here on the summer. Good numbers for him. 13 innings worked, 21 strikeouts over 3 walks. He is a go-to guy out of the pen. Has a chance here looking for that hold to try to keep this thing manageable for the Harwich Mariners.
And he's replacing Dominic Picone, who gave up 3 runs in that second, but he was pretty good overall. 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, those 3 runs, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts.
And most of his damage was done the second time through the order in that run of what was 12 batters set down over the 13 that he was able to really work a nice stretch of batters. Outside of the walk he had at the in the 5th inning there against Spikerman, he really set down everyone he saw there pretty consecutively. Had a lot of 1-2-3 innings, led off the ball game with 1. His stuff was working tonight, and he kept the Doors off balance aside from 1 swing from Nate Humphreys, and then the help of Gavin Turley's single immediately after that.
Moza's not going to get an easy start to this one. 3-4-5 in the Falmouth order. Spins a curveball in for a called strike to start off DeBarge. Louisiana Raging Cajun getting a little southeastern United States battle against Moza out of Alabama. And he's from Dallas, Georgia, so originating in that area as well. DeBarge, hard ground ball to the left side. That's going to be a tough play, and DeBarge beats it out.
That is a tremendous throw from Kalen Culpepper over there. It was a jump throw, but he had it on a line for an upstairs reach at first from Guerra. Just a flat throw there. I mean, it was just right on a line. That's as good of an effort as you're going to get there. He didn't settle his feet, made that throw on the jump, and just enough speed by Kyle DeBarge to leg that thing out. That is a tremendous play to make that play as close as it was at first base from tonight's shortstop for the Mariners.
Now Cade Snell already has himself a hit to extend that on-base streak to 19. He came around to score the game's first run back in the 2nd. Part of that 3-run frame for the Doors. Just saw the speed from DeBarge. He's a threat on the bases as well. Cade Snell, really good year at Wallace Community College, then went to Alabama here for this upcoming season. Slices it foul to bring it to 1-2, but he talked about, Matt, last night he wasn't seeing the ball that great, but he found himself that 3 RBI single when the Doors needed it most.
I mean, it was the biggest swing of the game, biggest chance, the only real threat of offense for Falmouth at all against the Chatham A's. Get your first chance and you come through. He was telling us that there were some cars out in the outfield at Veterans Field that had their headlights on, and he wasn't able to see, and even the catcher, Hudson White behind the plate, was saying, I can't see either. I don't know which one's worse.
Really good job by DeBarge taking off. That sets it up. That ground ball takes away the double play. Although a ground ball to that spot you're probably not turning to anyways. But DeBarge moves up into scoring position with just one away as Falmouth looking for some insurance here in the 6th.
The name of the game when you've got guys on base trying to move them around is just be productive, whether that's a productive at-bat in terms of getting on base yourself or being a productive out. Because if you're going to get out, you got to find a way to at least do something positive that gives the guy behind you a chance in a reset, nothing and nothing count.
Yannick trying something different today. Going with the clean shave. I'll see it when he turns back around. No more stash for Walker Yannick.
Well, I was just going to say, too, also the long pants. Normally he's wearing the pants up a little bit, has the stirrups sometimes out. A completely different look, really unrecognizable there with tonight's catcher for Falmouth, aside from his gear when he's behind the plate.
And the swing found its way through into this ball game with a single back in that 2nd inning. He's just trying to heat himself up. Guy that has steadily increased his average as the summer's gone on. Up around 260 right now. Sends it back up the middle for a base hit. DeBarge thought that Rivera had a chance on that line drive, and so he hesitated. So he holds up at third base. But they're on the corners.
And in a spot where it's a 3-0 lead, it's okay to just make sure you're safe than sorry in that instance. You don't want to get doubled off there if that one's through. And if for whatever reason, with DeBarge, obviously that play's behind him now by the time he's moving towards third. If he feels like it could have been caught, then it's a good instinct to at least look back. If it's a closer game, then it's a different conversation. But you've got a lead now, and you give McGregor a chance to bring you in.
McGregor will do just that. A ground ball into right field for a base hit. Yannick moves on up to third. Once again, they're on the corners, and Falmouth pushes the lead to 4.
Well, I've said it time and time again. There's no point to really just waiting at bats to see what you're going to get. If you're looking for something, swing early at it, even if it's in the first pitch of the at-bat. If it's later on, be patient, and when you decide to go, go. And I'm not saying McGregor got all that baseball, but again, when you pull it like that, that means you're obviously out in front of it, you're expecting it, gets it through the hole, and gets the job done and bringing in a run.
Falmouth trying to break this game open here in the 6th. Looking to add on to a 4-0 lead. Big swing there from Humphreys. We've already seen what he can do with his bat. We saw it last night. And tonight, a 2 RBI double in the 2nd. Ground ball. This could be 2. The relay back to first just gets him. A double play retires the side, but Falmouth adds another here in the bottom of the 6th. It's 4-0. Doors in front over Harwich. You are watching Falmouth Commodores baseball, and it's a party here at Gov Fuller Field. Welcome back into the broadcast booth here at Gov Fuller Field. Zach Zdenek, Matt Venezia, joined by a special guest, Cape League All-Star Gavin Keelan.
Pleasure to be here.
So it's been a fun one so far tonight. Good start, and getting the day off, got to feel nice to at least have a little bit of a break.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's kind of crazy how limited guys we have right now, and I mean, it's good we got the guy playing third today, and give me a little bit of time off right now. My back's kind of killing me.
Yeah, he made a really nice play at third on that dive earlier. That was
oh my
filthy.
gosh, he's gotten like 4 or 5 balls already. He's a vacuum over there. He's making good plays. The dive at third, I mean, he's good, man. It's cool.
You think it's true, the statement that they say when you first get into the game, the ball will find you? I mean, he's had several putouts over there, and he made that Gold Glove play over there too.
100%, it's a thing. I feel like everybody gets that at some point in their careers, and I mean, he's made every play. I mean, it's been great, and you know, you got Luke over at first base picking everything. It's been awesome.
And Gavin too. I mean, you talked about getting the off day here. We've been talking for a while, trying to get you in the booth with us, and whenever that next off day at home would be. You've been here since opening day. I mean, you've just been a staple over there at short. What do you think about your teammate Kyle DeBarge? How's he doing over there in your spot tonight?
Oh man, it's awesome. I wouldn't say it's my spot. I think it just depends on the night who's playing. You know, Trundy makes the lineup. We just show up and play. You know, we just do our best when we're out there. But no, it's cool to get up here now. I mean, this is such a nice setup. I've never been up here before, so I got to check it all out when I was up here walking to the back a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely nice. There's been a lot of great people that help us out here, just trying to make you guys sound good and look good when you're out there on the diamond. It's been nice to have some fun baseball over the last couple of weeks as well.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm just kind of just taking this in. I mean, this is such a cool setup right here, the broadcast and everything. This is awesome. I mean, I've never been in this, point of view right here.
So when your baseball career wraps up, now you have this to remember back on to say, hey, maybe I could get in on the broadcast side and be an analyst or something like that. Provide your insight too?
100%. I mean, I love this stuff. I love baseball. Anything that's got to be a part of it.
Hunter Hodges with a leadoff walk there. Casey Sauke finds his way on board. It's been a while since the Doors have really put a pitching performance like this out there all the way through a game. And you saw it with Jacob Smith. He's definitely been a big personality around the team. What's it been like working with him and playing with him?
Oh, he's awesome, man. First day came in and he started, telling everybody to call himself Big Bird and everything like that. So, I mean, you definitely got, the full character out of him for the first day. And he's a really cool dude. It's fun to be around. He's very competitive out there. He's always talking. I'm out of short. Runner on first base is always talking to himself. He's like, come on, gotta get this ground ball, get this ground ball. So he's always thinking one step ahead too out on the mound. So that's cool to see from a pitcher.
One gets away from Yannick, moves up the runner. You're out there at short a lot. You're playing with another all-star in Bazana up the middle. I know he's out in left field in the all-star game, but is it kind of nice to have that all-star tandem up the middle?
Oh, 100%. I mean, he's out there in left field too, making plays and stuff. But when him and I are up the middle, Travis is very talkative too out there on the diamond. Him and I are always talking about pitches or something's going on, and he knows so much about baseball that it's actually incredible. And I love getting to talk to him as much as I do because we do live together too, with the host family situation. So it's awesome being a part of being able to talk to him as much as I can and gain as much information as possible.
For sure, big strikeout there from Hodges to bounce himself back and retire Kennedy Jones for the first out.
Gavin, we were just talking a second ago about some of the different guys and their perspectives that they offer. You're coming off a really good stellar year, your freshman campaign at Louisville, really, ACC program there, and playing as much baseball as you did. They say the Cape League's about seeing different guys and guys coming together and learning things as you go, but being a youngster yourself, who have you kind of picked the brains of, and what are you maybe able to take with you back to school into your sophomore year?
I think the biggest person I've been watching the most is Travis. I think just living with him, kind of that same point. Just being able to be around him as much as I can, asking him as much questions as possible about baseball, listen to him talk to other people about baseball, watch how he goes in day out. It's impressive, and it's very easy to see why he's so good at baseball because of, the steps he takes day in, day out to be successful.
We talked about it a little bit when we did our behind closed doors interview, but you went to Fenway Day this year, and you said it wasn't the first time you had been there?
No, I actually went to a wild card game. My dad and I, this is such a crazy story. So we flew from, I got done with school one day, and it was a joke because the wild card game was happening between the Yankees and the Red Sox. And I was like, Dad, what if we went to the game? And he's like, check the tickets, see how much they are. And they're, pretty cheap. And next thing you know, we booked a flight, and my mom dropped us off at the airport, and we were in Boston. Ubered to the field. And by 7:15, we were in the field. Pitched first pitch 7:30. We're sitting out in right field watching the game, and it was crazy.
Yeah, because you're not from anywhere near Boston, right? Wisconsin?
No, I'm not. I'm from Wisconsin, yes, sir.
So I'm sure that was a day, and those wildcard games, that's what, a Monday or a Tuesday, right? So you got school the next day?
I did have school the next day. That was during my senior year of high school.
Did you go to school the next day?
Oh, yeah. I was on time. I was on time for my first class. Mrs. Steve knows I was there.
Were you awake?
No. Because we didn't stay in a hotel or anything because there's no point. And it was so late that we got there, there's no point. So after the game, we just kind of walked around the field, got food, slept at the airport.
Wow.
Which was awful. I mean, I got photos of me laying across the floor and, like, under the, like, under some airport steps. My dad and I are, like, sitting, like, kind of perched up on the seats there, and we were just, just trying to get as much disease as we could before getting on the plane at, like, 4 a.m.
That ball just died out there, but they know better than to try and run on Spike. So they're on the corners with 2 away. He's been a guy that's been outstanding defensively as well. Really good wheels.
Yeah, we talk about his speed that he has on the bases. It obviously translates out into the field, and that ball, as you mentioned, Zach, just kind of dies out there. But because of that momentum running in, right, when he gets into the crow hop, I mean, he's got all the momentum in the world coming in on that throw to Yannick and extends the inning, sure, but no damage just yet. You want to see if Hunter Hodges can kind of work out of this one here.
Starts off Carstetter with a strike on that foul ball. As we keep things going, Gavin, there's been a lot of talk in these summer leagues about the transition to wood bat. I know it's been a while now, but how was that transition and kind of how long did that take for you to get used to it?
I think just growing up, you play summer ball a lot, and most of those tournaments are wood bat as it is, once you get back into the BB cores and stuff like that. So I think it's a pretty easy transition. I think it was just for the first week trying to get a feel for it in my BP and, my T work. But other than that, I think it's a pretty easy adjustment.
Also, we talked about it yesterday at Veterans Field, but I don't even know if you know this, but the numbers for you against Chatham this year have been silly good.
Yeah, you were talking about him before a game, and I had no clue. But that was when I had the 4-hit game that one night. But other than that, I don't know what it is. I must be just seeing it well in Chatham or something like that.
Well, that's good to see. Gavin, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been a blast to get you up here finally. We've been waiting a few weeks to do it, but thank you for joining us, and good luck, man.
Yeah, thank you guys very much. It's a pleasure.
Doors in front, 4-0. Time to stretch from Gov Fuller Field.
And separates you from everybody else?
I think I'd have to say that I think the difference for me would be that this has been my dream since I was a little kid. I think when you have that love for the game and that desire for it, you want it more than anything else, and you always do it. Like anything about me is always baseball. Like everyone's like, "What other hobbies do you have? You need hobbies outside of baseball." Well, for me, it's just baseball. I love it, man. I love every part of it. Even the little things that don't count, like working out and making sure my body's right and eating healthy, like all that stuff. I love it. I love the baseball lifestyle, and I think that dream of wanting to be a big leaguer and play for a long time is what drives me that much more than anybody else, because I think so many people play this game, and they lose that love, and I haven't, and I really hope I don't ever lose it, and I don't think I'm ever going to do that.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate you.
Dax Daith, the new pitcher for the Mariners, to face 8-9-1 in the Falmouth order in a 4-0 game here in the bottom of the 7th.
I'll get the righty out there, making his second appearance on the summer. Only pitched a third of an inning on July 17th, just a couple of days ago against the Red Sox. Got the out needed. Nothing surrendered against his line. No hits, no runs, no walks, no Ks, no nothing. Just was able to find that out in the field.
That will certainly play tonight if he can repeat it for Harwich. Team that's trying to keep the deficit at 4. Falmouth has been in control thanks to some really good stuff on the mound between Jacob Smith and Hunter Hodges. We'll have to see if Hodges goes back out there. Nolan Moore has been up and throwing for Falmouth. 0-2 bends away from Turley.
Yeah, Zach, it's pretty mind-boggling, but when Nesson did the first of the two, it was against Harwich. We were down watching the game by our social table, and it was just barrel after barrel after barrel from this Harwich team. It was an 8-1 win back on June 25th. And that game, believe it or not, was the last road win that this Harwich Mariners team has had. I mean, when we talk about coming back down to earth, this team has not been very good on the road, so much so that the last time it was here, nearly a month ago, was the last time it got a win on the road.
Yeah, just 4-11 away from White House Field for the Mariners. Falmouth's been pretty even home and away. Can't get much more even than they have. They're 7-7-1 at home, 8-8-1 on the road, 15-15-2 overall. Trying to get back above 500 in a couple of those categories tonight, though, if they can hang on. Payoff pitch to Turley. Upstairs, and from 0-2 to ball 4. Leadoff man aboard for the Doors.
That's a good way to start. A good stretch of games now for this bullpen to kind of figure itself out. The pitching's kind of getting back in sync. You're seeing really good back-to-back outings in a stretch of before that. As we've talked about, this team kind of getting off the hot streak. It's because the pitching's starting to figure itself out as well.
And what you're seeing from Falmouth over these last couple of days is, and particularly yesterday, a chance to try and do what they did at the start of their hot streak. They found a way to win a game where they were out hit as the pickoff attempt gets away. Turley moving up to second. He took a turn and was thinking about third, but he'll hold. But back to that game yesterday, that's a game where they were out hit. They didn't lead for the majority of that game. And so you think about it, and it's a game that you feel like Chatham thinks it easily could have won, and yet the Doors won. And that was the same thing that happened in Orleans in Game 16 of the summer. And right after that, the Doors just took off. Gavin Turley swipes third. Arndt behind the plate is arguing that Brady, as he tried to get out of the way, stepped out of the batter's box, which if he did, it would have been batter's interference. But he has a right to remain in the batter's box, and home plate umpire Chris Kane says he did that.
Yeah, it's been a lot of conversations with Chris Kane and the other umpires with this Harwich group today on several different occasions.
They're struggling to find his fastball right now. It's 2-1. He's spent time quite a few different schools his career. Started at Houston, then went to Grayson College for a couple of years, then to Texas Tech, and now he's headed to the Division II national champions, Angelo State. Brady slices one into shallow right. Turley takes off. He's testing the arm. It's a good throw upstairs, and they got him. Arndt was jumping for it, came down and put the tag on Turley while landing on top of him. Something you don't see every day, but that ball wasn't that deep, and Sauke with a cannon out and right.
Yeah, Sauke plays that ball because it's slicing like that. If you get your body in position to where that baseball is going to end up rounding out like he did there, you cut it off at a good angle to where your body can start moving in direction of that line, and that's exactly what he does there. The throw with extra momentum, a little bit up the line just a bit, but a good job behind the plate by Arndt to stay with that one and deliver the tag. Had to leap for it a little bit. Gavin Turley okay, obviously heading back, but I don't mind the aggressiveness. You are up 4, though, so you don't really want to. That one's out there in relatively deep, I guess, kind of mid-right field. Not the deepest ball in the world. That was certainly a gamble, and it does not pay off.
Here comes John Spikerman. He's even in the count right now. Working on an 0 for 2 day, but did walk in the 5th. Trying to find his way on base again and bring up Travis Bazzana, who's hit the ball pretty hard, but has yet to find a hit to this point. 2-1 to Spike. If you remember back to that 5th inning, there was some chatter after Bazzana's lineout, too. Dominic Picone had some words for the Commodores All-Star. Hitters count 3-1 to Spikerman.
And we know this from Bazzana. He's very vocal. He's very much into his craft in terms of his approach and his mechanics. He's the most talkative player I think I've ever met in terms of what he's works on with his swing. Telling himself what he should be doing as it happens. So in a count where he might be hearing some feedback from the pitcher who was behind 3-0 and gets a line out for the out, you can't feel too surprised that Bazzana wanted to say something back.
Battling back is Daith, the payoff. Got him looking. Spikerman watches it for strike 3. And Daith gets the double play to work the 1-2-3 inning. We're through 7. Falmouth in front 4-0. We're going to send it down to the field with Destiny Sanchez, who has some scores from around the Cape.
Thanks, guys. Some scores around the Cape. The Hyannis Harbor Hawks defeated the YD Red Sox 3-2. The Chatham Anglers and the Cotuit Kettleers tied the game up 12-12. The Brewster Whitecaps defeated the Gatemen 7-3. And the Orleans Firebirds are ahead of the Bourne Braves 4-3 in the top of the 8th. You're watching Falmouth Commodores baseball.
Commodores still pitching a shutout through 7, up 4-0, and Nolan Moore now takes over out of the bullpen.
And Nolan Moore has been relatively solid. Went a long 3 innings in that game against YD. Only gave up a run over those 3. It was earned, 4 hits, 2 strikeouts, and then in the 12-5 loss to Cotuit on the 14th of July, went an inning, no runs. Just like that. He's just barely been here. He's got a 2.25 ERA in this back half of the bullpen.
Starts off Kalen Culpepper with a strike. Tough part of the order to have to enter against. Culpepper, Guerra, and Obi. Kalen Culpepper has been relatively quiet today. 0 for 2 with a walk. Same can't be said for the other Team USA guy on this Harwich team. Skies one down to first for McGregor to retire him for out number 1. But Seaver King, that other Team USA guy for Harwich, has been outstanding. He's reached in 3 of his 4 plate appearances with a pair of hits.
Yeah, he's been a tough out. There's no doubt about it. And he even had a pretty sharp ground ball over there to Kevin Brady. It seems like all the baseballs have gone over to third base there with the new addition to this Falmouth lineup. But nonetheless, I mean, that's why he's a Team USA guy and he wanted to come back here and get some more cuts, and that's why he's in the lineup for Harwich.
Nolan Moore Starts off Guerra the same way he started off Culpepper with a called strike. The Doors not too worried about playing the matchups so far tonight, as it was a left-handed starting pitcher. Harwich loads up with 9 righties. They go to a righty in Hodges, but now right back to a lefty in Nolan Moore, with another lefty warming in the bullpen in Garrett Coe.
Yeah, no safe situation right now, but Coe's been that 8th inning guy to get the setup role on to Joey Ryan in the 9th.
With Ryan throwing yesterday, we'll get to see the other all-star reliever for the Doors potentially in this 9th inning. If they don't let Nolan Moore go all the way, he has done multiple innings, as we mentioned before, and has good stuff out of Northwestern.
And it is 3 days later from that 3-inning effort at Red Wilson Field, so keep an eye on it. We'll see how quickly he moves in through here.
Ground ball to Bazana, and 2 away.
Pretty routine. Vacuums it up over there. Real good job staying low there on that baseball. It was working along level there on the ground. Sometimes they kick up at the last second, so that's why you still got to stay low to your base until that baseball is secured in your glove. Then you can decide to lift up and get into your motion delivering that baseball to first. Bazana, one of the very best to do it at the collegiate level, and he shows you why there, vacuuming that one up for out number 2.
Obi gets ahead in the count, the first man to do so for Harwich against Nolan Moore. And a slow motion swing on that off speed, and gets Moore right back into it. Fouls it off. It's 1-2. We talk about down the stretch for Falmouth. Getting towards the playoffs, the lone man with a Cape League playoff start on this roster is Nolan Moore. Started game 1 for the Doors in last year's first round matchup with Bourne. 1-2 stays low to Obi, and he's working another good AB.
And it's, a lot of these guys have played big moments in college baseball.
Tipped off a Yannick. Obi just staying alive.
Down the stretch, a lot of these guys coming in late because of finishing up their collegiate playoff runs. But in the same token, not that this weighs anything close to those kind of moments in the Cape League, but there's scouts here, and those are playoff moments, big high leverage situations, and some big starts getting game 1 ball in the playoffs. Those moments matter.
Ripped to third, but Brady's there. Just like that, another 0 put up on the board. 8 scoreless worked by the Falmouth pitching staff. Head to the bottom half, last chance for some insurance for Falmouth. It's 4-0 Doors from the Gov.
The door, Dusty Sanchez here with Cape Sal. Kate, you've been here on the Cape for a while now. How do you like your time?
It's amazing. This is a dream come true. I'm blessed to have this opportunity and play for the coach I do. Coach Trundy, Coach Ryan, Coach Britt, all of them, Coach Landry. They've really helped me figure out what I need to improve on and what I'm good at and use my strengths. And I couldn't do one thing for this opportunity.
What do you think has improved both
left on left. I did not see lefties that well coming up here, and then I think I finally figured it out. So, credit to them, credit to using some of Brett's equipment. I think they got me heading in the right direction for sure.
Looked like last time was pitching to you that it was going to the Doors, the 3-run single. How'd that feel?
It felt amazing. I was due. Had 2 kind of not amazing at-bats to begin with, and I knew if I got a pitch in my wheelhouse with runners in scoring position, the biggest thing I can do is just get some barrel on and see what happens. I was able to come through last night, get support from the guys and all that kind of stuff. It seemed to work out.
There's a few weeks left of the regular season. What are some of your goals for that?
Just have fun and keep playing. This is a job, but you got to keep it fun as long as possible. If you can do that, you'll have good success. Thank you.
2-3-4 for the Doors. That means Travis Bazana gets it started. But before we get to the action, going to take a quick look here at what the Doors have over the next few days as we get down the stretch in this season.
Yeah, I mean, some big moments there. Obviously, the game tomorrow against Wareham. Neutral field, though, not going to Spillane. And a couple of matchups, again, as we talked about. 3 straight against the West. It's a big spot for the Doors, who have only won 5 against their individual opponents.
10-5 against the East, 5-10 against the West, with a tie on each side as well for Falmouth on the summer. Bazana gets ahead in the count, 2-0. 3 ABs, 2 lineouts, and a flyout for the Oregon State Beaver. Finds himself way out in front. Back-to-back ABs, he's been ahead 3-0. It was a leadoff walk to Gavin Turley in that 7th inning. He got all the way around to third, was thrown out trying to tag. And now a leadoff walk. Just like that. Another base runner for the Doors.
Yeah, they've had a lot of them tonight. Seeing good at-bats. 7 hits tonight. Worked a handful of walks as well. Good to see Travis Bazana find a way aboard to lead off the inning.
DeBarge takes a strike. Daith finds the zone once again, trying to keep that scoreless streak going through his first 2 innings of work here on the Cape. DeBarge tried to jump on that front door breaking ball and just chopped it right into his foot.
That's a really good pitch. That ball starts behind the left knee of Kyle DeBarge and then kind of zips back in. Got really good feel there as it snaps back in towards the zone. And if you're DeBarge, that's kind of just a defensive hack to try to avoid falling down 0-2 just to see if you can put a ball in play. That's a real good pitch.
Bazana has a lot of speed on the base paths. Already gotten himself quite a few stolen bags on the summer. He stole 36 of them at Oregon State. DeBarge with a ground ball that took an insane hop. Culpepper did get DeBarge at first. He had to leap for that one and just barely got DeBarge running down the line.
I'd like to know the exit feel on that throw from Kalen Culpepper. My goodness, the fact that he was able to make that play on that insane hop. That's why we tell you, like what Bazana did on that routine ground ball staying low to your base. That's what you're expecting if you're Kalen Culpepper there, but sometimes you get weird kicks out of the infield grass. He got one there that made him show off his vertical. And just an insane ability to then set yourself with your feet and then just zip that ball through. Just such a good throw. Really good defensive shortstop over there in Kalen Culpepper.
He can swing it too. He was outstanding at Kansas State. One of the top prospects in the Big 12 next season, and that's saying something. That's a good conference. Cade Snell's ahead in the count. He could add to the RBI total and take that team lead if he can get a base hit. Leaning towards a walk right now, though, a 3-0 count.
Well, it's not really an if he'll get that hit. It's more so when. I mean, the way he is seeing the baseball right now, he's driving baseballs, he's pulling them, getting base hits that way, but he hits the ball so sharply. The base hit he had last time sent it right up the box.
Snell thought it was ball 4. He does a quick 360 turn between the start to walk down and then the turn right on back. Good breaking ball. Same one he threw to Spikerman that punched him out looking to end the 7th. He throws it here in a 3-1 and runs it full to Snell.
Same pitch, too, that he threw to DeBarge there to work behind him there to come back in on the front door. Works differently here, though, with the lefty and Snell in the box.
He checked his swing on that backdoor breaking ball, and he'll find his way down to first. Third walk issued by Daith, and there's 2 aboard for the Doors with Yannick and McGregor looming. Yannick with a pair of hits already today. Strikeout sandwiched in between. He's looking to find some success and feel good about the new clean shave.
Yeah, I mean, it's worked out. He's got 2 really hard-hit baseballs today.
Sends this one to third. It's right between the legs. Karlstetter. And just like that, Bazana comes in to score on the error. Kevin Karlstetter had himself set up, was trying to play a hop, and it just didn't hop.
Yeah, it's such a weird kind of in-between feeling when you kind of want to predict the way the baseball is going to hop, because if you're down the whole time there, Zach, when that one takes a kick, it's off your stomach, it's stopped at your feet. It probably saves the run, but you kind of have to be the judge of it to where do I need to adjust myself to be able to clean this cleanly, and then be able to deliver to first. In that case, he guessed incorrect, and that's why the run comes in.
And he's thinking double play ball on that ground ball hit to him. He's trying to turn it with a catcher at the plate and a ground ball right at you, and instead it ends up in left field, and a run comes across. McGregor trying to take advantage and add some more to a 5-0 Falmouth lead. Good block there, but a good jump by Cade Snell. Looked like it caught Arndt a little off guard. He wasn't expecting him to take off and hesitated just enough to allow Snell to get in there.
Well, just a ton of insurance. You said it going into this half inning. This is going to be the last chance to get insurance. Not that the Doors are going to need all this much, given the effort from the pitching staff today, but it's good to see Falmouth find ways to move guys and set up opportunities for the next man up.
Yannick stole 10 bags at Sam Houston State. He takes off here. They do throw down to second, and they got him. Arndt with a strike to Kalen Culpepper, who slaps the tag on for out number 2.
Yeah, Zach, you mentioned it. He stole those bags at Sam Houston State. Just trying to maybe set up a different situation, take the double play ball out of effect. Not that it's all that, necessary in this spot of being up 5 runs, but just a dart behind the plate from Arndt, who delivers a really good baseball there, and the tag's perfect.
McGregor trying to add another. High pop-up. Karlstetter has room, and he'll retire the Doors' first baseman. So we head to the 9th. Garrett Coe coming in to try and slam the door on this one. 5-0, Falmouth in front.
Are you looking for that perfect pregame meal? Supreme Pizza has you covered. Its extensive menu has everything from pies and calzones to salads and subs. And with its online ordering system, delicious food is just one click away.
It's an honor to support the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Supreme Pizza is open every day of the week. Order online or stop by their store located at 147 T-Ticket Highway and try a slice today.
Garrett Coe takes the mound in the 9th. Trying to finish this one off for Falmouth. It's been outstanding work from all the pitchers so far, Matt.
Yes, it has. I mean, you look at, who's going to be the most effective. I don't know. I think probably Hunter Hodges, if I had to pick right now. Real good stuff from him in relief right away from Jacob Smith. But anytime you can hand the ball to this guy right here out of UConn, Garrett Coe has been the man for Falmouth before getting the ball to Joey Ryan. 1.42 ERA, and now going into 7 games of action. Has a save under his belt. Not a safe situation tonight. Wouldn't have been anyways if that run didn't come across to score in the 8th inning for Falmouth. But 12 2/3 worked, 14 Ks against 4 walks. That works.
First pitch misses to start off Brian Arndt. It's Arndt, Sauke, and Jones. The 3 for the Mariners trying to work some magic in this top of the 9th. Against Garrett Coe, who has been outstanding, as we mentioned. Cape League All-Star, dominant in relief. Made his debut against Harwich back the last time these two teams met, and it didn't go as well for Coe, but since then he has been dialed in.
No, that was the game, the 8-1 loss. 2 runs on 3 hits over 2 innings. Was a part of that effort in that game that we had a great look at it. Which, by the way, we have a great view up here in this broadcast booth where we're sitting right up on home plate here. But that angle just off home plate there, down by like the fans, where our social friends are, and those gathered here, it is a great view for Cape League baseball down there, and that's where we were enjoying the last one to see what was a tough loss for the Commodores. But again, this Harwich Mariners team, the last road win they picked up was in that game, literally almost a month ago. Incredible.
That streak may continue unless Harwich can find something in this 9th inning. It won't be with a leadoff base runner, though. Broken bat and a 6-3 ground out.
Yeah, a little lumber there going down. No splinters flying around, though, and just Kyle DeBar is able to play that one on the hop. Delivers over. That's a good start for Garrett Coe. He hasn't pitched in a couple of days in that 10-6 win against Chatham. We've seen the Anglers one more time, though, since that last appearance. So it has been a little bit good to get his arm going, even though it's not in one of those kind of set up and then close situations. You still want to keep him fresh, and I'd imagine the next time we would see him would probably be at White House Field in that All-Star game.
Yeah, either then or maybe with just 1 inning you could see him in what will probably turn out to be a very big game against Bourne on Friday night here.
That's right.
At the Gov. Got to think that they'd like to have both Joey Ryan and Garrett Coe available for that one. We're in the 9th inning here. They're in the 9th inning at Doran Park. If the 2 scores hold, the Doors would move up to 3rd place tonight, as Orleans holds a 4-3 lead on the Braves in the top of the 9th in that game, and it's 5-0 here. Coe tried to spin the slider in, and it just stayed upstairs.
I guess, but I don't know. That looked really, really good up here. Garrett Coe thought he got it.
Goes the fastball, and Sauke continuing to stay alive. He's worked some good ABs, but has yet to find himself a hit. 0 for 2 with a walk for the Virginia Cavalier. Stays alive again.
Finding ways to fight off pitches. Again, Coe, just fastball changeup. This is what he likes to go to. Works very effectively for only having 2 in his arsenal.
That one was good. Fires the fastball past him. 2 up, 2 down for Coe. And the Doors 1 out away from win number 16 on the summer.
Yeah, fastball up and in on the full count. Almost like a here it is. See what you can do with it. And Garrett Coe muscles it past him there for that 2nd out and comes down to Kennedy Jones.
Jones starts off ahead in the count. He's looking for his first hit of the game. 5 runs on 7 hits for Falmouth. No runs on 4 hits for Harwich. The Doors looking for their 2nd shutout of the season. The last one came against Brewster all the way back the beginning of the year on June 16th.
Yeah, that was win number 2 for Falmouth. At the time, the Doors' first 2 wins of the year were on the road. The first one being against this Harwich team.
Jones ahead in the count, 3-1 against Coe. Trying to avoid a walk here with 2 away. Jones way out in front of that changeup. And we'll get a full count pitch with 2 away in the 9th. The 3-2. Popped up, right side. Going to be a long run, and it drops foul.
Well, you did the job there. Tried to jam Kennedy Jones, get something up like that for an outfielder to make a play on. Just barely went foul. Nate Humphreys, he has such a good glove out there. He's made some diving plays, as has Tab Tracy as well. He's not in the lineup today. But that one a little bit too far out of the reach for any of the outfielders, or even Tyler McGregor for that matter, to make the play and end the ball game.
So another 3-2 awaits Kennedy Jones, trying to keep this game alive for Harwich. A payoff pitch. Sent back to the screen. Jones continuing to show some fight. They've worked Garrett Coe up to 20 pitches already. The 21st is another 3-2. Misses upstairs with the changeup. Jones battles his way to an 8-pitch walk and keeps the ball game alive for at least one more hitter.
Yeah, man, that's a really good at-bat. One of the better at-bats we've seen all game from these Harwich Mariners. So it's been a struggle a little bit here offensively for this group, but nonetheless, fighting off pitches and working away to find a way on base.
Daniel Rivera takes a called strike. Second baseman 0 for 3 today. That's the best way to keep him from stealing bases, is to keep him off the base pad. Coe fires in a fastball to make it 0-2. And once again, the Mariners down to their final strike. Here's the 0-2. Fastball high. A beautiful night for baseball and a strong effort from Falmouth. Garrett Coe trying to shut it down. Swing and a miss. Garrett Coe shuts the door. Falmouth shuts out Harwich. Picks up win number 16 on the summer.
Well, as you mentioned, Zach, it's a big game for a lot of reasons. Got to take advantage of a division that you've owned for the season. Falmouth win number 11 against East Divisional foes. So far on the year, 2-1 against Harwich. One more trip against these guys will be at White House Field before we wrap up the regular season. But got to keep an eye on that Bourne Braves-Orleans matchup, because if those scores hold, the Doors are going to jump to 3rd in this West Division.
We'll have to see how that one goes. But Falmouth with a big win, shutting out Harwich. 16-15-2 now for the Doors. Before we sign off things here from Gov Fuller Field, we're going to send it down to the 3rd member of our team, Destiny Sanchez.
Thanks, guys. A great shutout win for the Commodores tonight, and a huge part was the pitching. Jacob Smith starting on the mound for a little over 4 innings, no runs scored, then Hodges and Moore coming in relief, both dominant, and Garrett Coe tying the bow on the game. It's a great way for the Doors to win tonight. The pitching staff definitely stuck out to me under Coach Landry, and it's a great way to go into the last 11 games of the regular season. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Destiny. It certainly is a good way to get things going into this critical stretch as we wind things down on the regular season. Falmouth, as it stands right now, pending the final in Bourne, the Doors stand in 3rd place right now and would find themselves not only in a playoff spot, but able to avoid top seeded Katuitt in that first round.
Absolutely. That's probably the goal if you're Falmouth right now, the way the Kettleers are playing baseball. But nonetheless, I mean, we've seen it firsthand. Falmouth has struggled against its divisional opponents. Just those 5 wins on the year, Zach. If you're playing out in the East, then you'd like your, where you're standing. But nonetheless, there's a lot of important games down the stretch. Any one of these opponents, should you get into the big dance, will certainly be a tough way on to that Cape League title game.
We will see how that goes. Playoffs starting up on August 4th. Falmouth still got to get there, though. Trying to continue to push their lead over Wareham tomorrow when they take on the Gatemen out at Mass Maritime Academy over in Buzzards Bay. We'll have that one for you on the radio with Matt, myself, and Destiny. But a lot of people bringing you this one tonight. Ellie Fideli, our director. Audrey Glynn, the assistant director, our videographers tonight. Scott Semanchik, Laura Schroeder, and McKenna Wall, as well as a ton of others that have brought this one to you. 5-0, Falmouth, the victors over Harwich. For all of us here at Gov Fuller Field, Destiny Sanchez, Matt Venezia, I've been Zach Sardenik, hoping you have a blessed rest of your Wednesday night and saying good night from Falmouth.